got the energy. Yeah, we got the energy. Yeah, we got the energy. Energy. got the energy. Yeah, we got the energy. Yeah, we got the energy. Yeah, we got the energy,
Jay Crawford, Adam the Bull, Garrett Bush, Tyvis Powell, Jason Lloyd. Plus, ba-da-da-da-da, you're loving him, Mikey McNuggets. And so many big names, it would take me hours to say all of their names. The ultimate Cleveland sports show starts now. Booyah!
Hey everybody, welcome to the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. Here we are. G. Bush is with me today. Tyvis is with me. I'm Adam the Bull. We got Mike. We got no Anthony. Earl is there. We've got Steve behind the glass. We've got security guard Daryl in here with us today. We're not supposed to say that Daryl was here. I don't know. Daryl's official security for the Ultimate.
It is now. It is now 4 black people in the building.
Yes,
and where more than 2 black people congregate, everything changes. The music changes, the lighting.
That's true.
The jewelry, the slang, the vernacular, everything changes. So, you know.
Speaking of which, it's funny because I was listening to an interview with Isaiah Hartenstein from the Knicks.
Mm-hmm. He's black.
He's mixed.
Right. You wouldn't know it looking at him.
No, he did a whole interview where he actually had to explain how he was mixed.
And he goes, and I remember, and he was saying to whoever was doing the interview, it was another one of the Knicks players was interviewing him.
Wasn't it on the Jalen Brunson and Josh Hart?
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know if Josh Hart was there, but Jalen Brunson was interviewing.
Yeah.
And he goes, and Isaiah Hartenstein goes, as soon as people found out I was black, they would shake my hands differently. They would do all that. It was so funny.
I had a weird situation like that as well. When I was in the league, there was this guy by the name of Cassius Marsh. He went to UCLA. He was with me in Seattle and San Francisco. Yeah. And when we was in Seattle, he looks white.
Yeah.
Curly ginger hair, tattoos, and all this thing. He looked like the Birdman. Remember the Birdman?
Sure.
Chris Anderson.
Yeah, Chris. He looked just like him. So I'm in the locker room and he dropping the N-word and everybody looking at him.
Yeah, you do.
Hey, what you doing?
you get like a packet. Like you get like a packet when they introduce you into the community, and they tell you how many times you can say that. Like, and so we just all met and decided whether Drake was allowed to say that.
Yeah.
And so it was
according to Kendrick.
So
we don't want to hear him say it no more.
So he can say it anywhere east of the Mississippi River, but he go past the Mississippi River, right? Like they didn't revoke the whole card. So that's the thing, though.
Who's in charge of this?
It's the council.
It is?
Yeah.
Are you on the council?
No, I'm not on the council. They email us. Mostly it's the Illuminati.
Yeah.
And there's like Jay-Z, and then they kicked Kanye out.
He's out.
They kicked.
He just went over the. He went too crazy.
They kicked Kyrie Irving out, and now it's just like Steve Stout and just
All right.
LeBron.
Along those same lines, Tyvis, Isaiah Hartenstein of the Knicks is black, and his teammates didn't know it until it came up. To the lines of Cassius Marsh earlier. What?
Was he not?
Did I just miss the whole thing? I was talking to Steve.
That's how we got this guy Marsh.
He said the same.
Oh, my bad.
Verbatim.
I was talking to Steve.
Verbatim.
I was talking to Steve. My bad.
He said
My
the
bad.
exact same thing. He just rewound it, put his voice on it.
I was talking to Steve. I came in midway to the conversation. I was trying to make sure we had the ad reads. I was trying to make sure we had the graphics set up.
I did too.
My bad. Tyvis, my bad.
Wow.
I came in midway through.
I was like,
talking to
is he
Steve.
cool? I'm like, McNuggets got a beautiful mind.
Oh my God.
Isn't it crazy? Isn't it crazy?
For a second.
Isn't it crazy? You could be like, listen, I got headphones on, so like I'm hearing you guys. But if you're talking to someone else, you hear it and it literally goes
That's
in one ear and out the
crazy.
other, like nothing registered.
I'm like,
That just happened to me. My bad.
That
Hand
is
up.
so
My bad.
funny.
Oh man,
That is
My
so
bad.
funny. By the way, I was just telling the guys before the show, if you haven't seen it, great movie came out last year. I just watched it in the last few days, called American Fiction. I can't remember the name of the lead actor. He was in, I can't remember the show he was in, the name of the show, but anyway.
Jeffrey Wright.
Jeffrey Wright, yeah.
He was in Westworld.
Westworld, right. The guy who was in Westworld. He's an awesome actor, and the movie is great. I recommend everybody see it. It was really, and also Sterling K. Brown from This Is Us. The people, if you watch that show, you know who he is. He's in it too. It's a great movie. Check it out. Anyway, guys, lots to get to today. This hot topics on the Guardians, the Browns, and the Cavs. We'll certainly going to spend plenty of time on the Guardians next hour, and we'll talk about the Cavs and what's going on. Are they going to fire JB? It's been, what, today's a week?
A week. Last Wednesday, the team was eliminated. So
Right.
It's been now
And
1 week.
JB, as of this moment, is still the head coach of the Cavs. Will that continue beyond this day? We don't know. We'll get into all of that later, but we're going to start with the Browns. Mini camp going on right now, or OTAs going on right now. And Deshaun Watson threw in practice yesterday. How'd he look? Will he throw today? We'll get into all that, but first, hopefully, the president of the Isaiah Hartenstein fan club, Mike Lucas.
I was listening, so I know it's time to do a FanDuel read. It's winner take all time in the NBA and NHL, and FanDuel is giving you a shot to bring home a big win of your own. Right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets with any winning $5 bet. That's $150 to bet on spreads, money lines, player props, and more. Visit FanDuel.com/UCSS and make every playoff shot count. FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. We got a couple winning tickets we'll get to in the second hour of the show. But let's dive right into the Deshaun Watson topic, guys. He threw yesterday for the first time in public with the Browns since his season-ending shoulder injury. We have a couple videos the Browns released. Steve, if you want to take tagboard full. This is Deshaun Watson throwing to teammates. This was from the Browns' Twitter account. They also posted a video on their Instagram. Tyvis Bull, how do you think Deshaun looked in these very minimal clips? We got 3 throws. But what do you make of the 3 throws we saw from Deshaun? Does the throwing motion look normal? Any hitch from the shoulder surgery? It's a small sample size, but what'd you see?
Well, off the bat, we got to talk about the visor. The visor is cold, man. Listen, that boy swag is always on a trillion when he out there. I can't lie about that. As far as the throwing motion goes, it looks all natural to me. It looks good to me. The only thing I would tell him is to stop patting the ball because as a DB, I know you getting ready to throw it and I'm jumping it. That's the only. Look at that. Bam, I'm gone. See that? Yeah, you like that, don't you?
I do like that.
Outside of that, everything else look natural. He didn't throw no deep routes, so I don't know how much he can push the ball down the field. But right there, for that little route right there, that looks good to me. It looked like a timing throw.
Have you noticed him do that in games?
Pat the ball?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a common thing that a lot of quarterbacks do. It's what it is.
But it's a tell.
Well, yeah. So.
G, what say you?
When you got an arm, I'm gonna pat the ball and tell these DBs, hey, catch it if you can. Hey, Patrick Mahomes do a lot of stuff. Don't mean you can get to it.
That's the truth too.
Now look, man. First and foremost, this is why Tyvus needs to be on the show. He already pointed out the most important thing out of this. Let's look at the fit right now. For the white face mask looks tremendous. He has the orange jersey on. I'm still waiting to get those orange jerseys back. Those joints with Kelly Holcomb. First and foremost, you see the towel hanging. The towel look good. The visor is ridiculous. Wristbands look good, and I love the fact that he got the wristband in the front right here.
Got the plays. That's the
plays.
He don't put it on. He got it on so I can look down at it.
I just looking down. I'm ready to go. And so, he don't have the orange, his traditional orange tape on his cleats, but that'll be coming. And so secondary, man, these is 2 slant throws. I could throw these balls right here. That's easy. 1, 2, 3. Bah! That's nothing. Listen, you're not gonna get nothing from this.
Yeah, no. These routes is 10 yards at the most.
And let's say it all together, boys and girls. These are Minimoski.
Yeah.
These boys ain't no regular.
Opening day is what? September 11th, 12th? What's the exact date?
10th. Hold on one second.
10th. Refresh my memory, Mike.
Week 1 in the NFL
Yeah.
this season begins on, not preseason. I don't want preseason.
Come on with the
NFL
preseason.
season.
Nobody cares.
September something, 11th, 12th, right?
It's him.
It's the 8th.
All right.
The 8th.
So, guys, we're almost at the end of May. So we're really, 3.5 months away from opening day. It'll be here before you know it because summer always goes too fast anyway.
I agree.
This is no shot at Watson or anything, but it doesn't matter what he does in OTAs. It doesn't matter what he does in minicamp. It doesn't matter what he does working out. It doesn't. Yeah, it's good that he's throwing. He seems to be throwing fine. Doesn't seem to be any restrictions there. That's a positive. But it doesn't matter what he does in the preseason. It doesn't matter what he does in training camp. None of it matters. Only thing that matters is what he does September 8th. How he looks then. How he looks now, who cares? He's not getting tackled. There's no threat of getting tackled. There's no threat of getting hit. That's going to make it easier for any quarterback to throw. And G just said it. I mean, he's throwing a couple of easy slant passes. What am I going to learn here? There's nothing I'm going to learn. That's not a negative or a positive. It just is what it is.
Yeah.
We know Deshaun Watson has talent. The Browns wouldn't have traded all the things they did and paid him all the money if he wasn't a superstar talent. The question is, can he consistently display that talent on the field during games, as he did almost all the time in Houston? If he can, they're going to be excellent. If he can't, they'll still be good, but not excellent. That's it. I'll see him on September 8th. He's not going to play in the preseason, I don't think. If he is, it's going to be Minimoski, couple of plays. So we're really not going to – yes, it's a positive that he's on the field and he's throwing. If he couldn't throw now, that would be a negative. I just don't think anything matters until the game starts.
I just found it to be very hard that a guy who went out there and threw with it broken can't throw with it fixed. Like so I wasn't never concerned about him not being there for the season start or none of that stuff because he did it with it messed up. So why would he not be with it fixed?
Well, he might not have been 100%. We don't know that. I guess. Well, why are you looking at me? It's a new injury. Nobody's had this before in terms of quarterback.
Yeah. Okay. Like I say, for me, it's nice to see him throwing it. Like I said, everything looks good. I don't see no tweak in his motion or anything like that. It still looks the same. It looks fluid. Yeah. But the true test would be, I need to see him throw a fade. Let me see him throw a 15-yard dig. Let me see him throw a post route. Like that's where I want to see, because I feel like when you think about how this new offense is supposed to be in this passing attack, I think it will be much more vertical. So I wanted to see him complete those throws. The hitch route, which is like 8 to 10 yards, and the slant that's from anywhere from 3 to 5 yards. Like I can throw that. Like I can throw that now. But I need to see him with the offense, and the fact that, or I don't know if we move into that topic. The fact that he threw yesterday and now he's not throwing today, like that is interesting because maybe it's more.
Yeah.
For day one install is all basic stuff. So it's like never really down the field.
Yeah.
Today would be more getting them to go more down the field because you want to get these guys. You don't want guys to come off of an off-season program and get straight to running full speed to going down the field, running phase, and all of those things. You want to ramp them up to that, and I think that today would be more of a day where they start to push the routes more down the field. That's why it's interesting that he's not throwing it.
Gee, the Browns control the message here on Deshaun Watson. He threw when there was no media, so they put out the video of whatever they want. Today, the media is going to be out there, no Deshaun throwing. Is there anything suspicious, or is it a nothing burger here?
Man, listen, I'll be praying at night, and before I go to sleep, I'll be like, dear Lord, please let Deshaun Watson throw for 5,000 yards. I would like to see him get 40 touchdowns.
I would too, man.
Please protect his upper body, and so that he will finish the season ready to go, and the Browns make the playoffs and make a deep push. Because the only reason that I'm not saying this because I want them to be good, is I want to be petty. I want to be petty. Listen, when it happens, trust me, don't you get in the comment section and tell me nothing. Gee, you're beating a dead horse here. Give me the beating a dead horse. You're beating a dead horse. 5,000 yards. I'm going to just come in here. I'm going to go to gas stations, buy a bag of Cheetos and just pour them out and walk out. I paid for it. That's how petty I'm going to be.
Yeah.
I'm going to be like, listen, I'm going to tell you what to write, Jason Lloyd.
You got tweet saved?
Listen, already. They're already scheduled. The schedule, it's like an algorithm. The AI was like anything over 350. Petty G. Bush is already AI on everybody's time.
Yeah.
Because, look, man, I be wanting it because right now, we the only fan base that do this right now. Right now, we're the only fan base that has to be like, wow, our quarterback threw the ball one time today. And we just
That's not true. Cincinnati's probably like that.
No, they're not. They're not.
Joe had a wrist injury.
Joe Burrow receives none of this. Joe Burrow is immune, bro. Matter of fact, Joe Burrow's so immune, he didn't even get the COVID shot.
Hey, listen, he
don't get that.
It's not an apples to apples thing.
Look, see? I told you. Deflect that.
He would know. He would know.
Wait a second. Now, I am a little concerned about Joe Burrow in terms of injuries.
See?
But the difference is Joe Burrow's played great for the Bengals. Deshaun Watson has not played great for the Browns. That's a big difference.
I told you.
Isn't that fair?
I mean, he gets. I told him yesterday. He gets
When
something.
you say not great, what do you mean by that?
I'll stop it. You know exactly what I'm talking about.
See, you said, ain't nobody else got to do it.
But
Nobody.
He went 4-1.
We got guys.
love
It's so bad. It's so bad. People trolling so bad that there's a list that we're going to talk about later on where they done put Deshaun Watson behind a rookie who ain't never played before.
Now, let me say a couple things. First of all, as the petty LeBeau of this show, I appreciate the fact that G has learned from me and now wants to be as petty as I can.
Oh, I'm going to the top. Petty LeBeau, Petty LeBull,
Petty LeBush.
Yeah,
I'm trying to stay away from
but
my
now,
petty ways.
Now here's the thing, though. I am not. If there's two groups of people, there's three camps. There were two camps. Now there's three camps.
Oh, so they're splintered.
It's splintered.
Okay,
yes.
It's three
let me hear
camps.
this.
There's three camps on Deshaun.
I want to see where I fall.
You're on the he's definitely going to be good camp.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, there's he's a bum. I don't like him. He's never going to be good. That camp. Those people have been in that camp, and people have been in the camp you're in. Then there's people like me who have splintered off of your camp, where I'm like, I'm not rooting against the guy. I don't think he's a bum. I still think he can play, but I'm not 100% confident he's ever going to be the same guy again. And
my friend is called being Switzerland.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is.
Because it's actually the group that makes the most sense. Because it's irrational to say he can never play good again. And I think at this moment, since he hasn't done it for 3 years, I think it's irrational to think there's no chance he's not going to be good again. And so I'm not like when you talk about killing everybody with the pettiness. Am I in that group? Because I don't think that's fair.
No. Listen.
I'm not anti-Watson. I just say he's got to prove it.
No, when you being petty, that's up to the people to discern whether or not they feel a certain type of way.
Yeah.
I'm just throwing it out there. Like, look, because here, I'm old enough to remember where you had guys like Andrew Luck that was hurt every year.
Yeah.
And every year we did, if Andrew Luck, we get him an offensive line and some receivers, Boy, Luck is going to be a first ballot nothing.
Yeah, but again, G, I would say that the difference is
what?
Andrew Luck had played great for Indianapolis
I mean,
for a couple of years. Joe Burrow played great for the Bengals for a couple of years. Deshaun Watson hasn't played great for the Browns.
I mean, but he played great a couple of years ago for the Texans.
Yes, and if he was still with the Texans, and you can't just ignore that he hasn't played great for the team that he's on now. That's part of the equation.
One of the things that I always go to, right?
Since when is winning not good enough?
They moved that. That don't count.
Oh, that's baloney, guys.
I just don't understand
I
that.
was just on the show. They said it's all about winning. You're right.
Guys,
That's why when he was 4-12, they said them stats didn't count.
I never said that. You know I never said that.
I did not say that.
Not you,
not you.
me
But
in that
saying,
group.
I'm
like,
just saying.
A lot of people be like, "Oh, he had this great season, but the team was 4-12."
That's
Okay.
the
Like, when this winning
Well,
not
then
count?
those people, if they don't credit him for his 4-1 record, are being hypocrites. I agree with you. But I did give him a ton of credit for playing great when his team sucked, and I am not giving him credit because he didn't play well. Even though they went
So what if
4-1.
they lit it up but went 5-12? What if he threw for 5,000 yards but they went 5-12?
That's the chances of that happening are about 1,000,000 to 1.
They get him a body. You know what they're gonna say.
No, I would not.
I'm just curious.
Doesn't affect.
I'm curious, boy.
Okay.
Like
For me,
for you and
I
your
would
camp.
say, well, they fixed the quarterback problem. Now let's
Okay.
fix the rest of the team.
Okay.
But this current team, that's really impossible. They're too good.
Nothing's impossible.
If he plays great, they're going to win 12 games minimum.
Couple of injuries could mess up everything.
Yeah, but I mean they're too talented everywhere else that if he plays great,
Miles,
they're not going to be bad.
God forbid, Miles Garrett and
Honestly, I don't care.
And a corner goes down.
If Deshaun Watson plays great, worst case scenario, I'll even say the Browns win 10 games. Worst case scenario. If he plays great, if he's truly 5,000 yards and he's a top 5 quarterback again, there's no way. They would have to lose 30 guys to not
I'm just asking, what would the narrative be? If he threw for 5,000 yards but the team went 5-12, would people be like,
no, listen,
No,
I can't argue with you that some people are hypocrites.
They're gonna do
You're
that.
right, but I can only speak for myself. I did not diminish ever Deshaun Watson playing well in Houston in 2020. Never, not once. I gave him full credit, said the team was trash around him, and in fact, I said he was the best quarterback in football that year.
You did.
And in the same vein, not being hypocritical, yes, they went 4-1 with him last year, but he did not play particularly well outside of that second half against Houston. I mean, the second half against Baltimore. Yeah, he played fine in the Titans game. But overall, in Cleveland, he's been injured, and he hasn't played particularly well. That's the truth. No matter where the wins and losses be. But you tell me he throws for 5,000 yards with 40 touchdowns this year, then I give him zero blame for things going wrong.
I've heard people in this very same panel say that without a Super Bowl, this is an abject failure.
I don't agree with that.
They did say that.
I don't agree with that.
I did.
Now, I don't know. Like, that's like, listen, that's like me getting up. That's like my wife get up, she have a bad day, right? And she say, you know what? I don't like you did this. And I say, you know what? Divorce. What she should come back and tell me is like, who you think you is? You put up with way more than me. Let me show you. Let me run down what your ex-wife did, this, and I just had a bad day. Nah, I'm not going for that. Same thing is this, right? You got Deshaun Watson, right? Johnny Manziel that played more than him almost. Like we had Baker Mayfield for 4 years, and he played bad every other year. And you know what? He had the same injury. And you know what we had to do as Browns fans? We had to suck it up and take that. We had to be like, you know what? We're going to give you an opportunity. Baker, we need this, we need this. We did it for 4 years. We did it with Brandon Whedon for multiple years. Heck, we had Deshaun Kaiser for a whole year. Matter of fact, Deshaun Kaiser has played more than Deshaun Watson.
Yeah.
Now, why is it that why did you have all that patience back then?
Me?
And now, I'm just saying
I've had patience for any of those guys.
I'm just
Baker,
saying.
I gave a little time because Baker played well as a rookie.
But I mean, Baker played.
And then I killed him in year 2 when he sucked. And then I credited him in year 3 when he played well.
And then he came back.
And then I killed him again in game 4 when he sucked. And then I wanted him out.
You see that timing?
So I have never been hypocritical about any of this.
But it's 11 games.
There are some people that, I know that, but I'm not writing them off.
Oh, yeah.
There are some people who are. There are some people who are writing him off. That's silly. The only way the trade's a disaster is if Deshaun Watson never plays at a Pro Bowl level for the Browns. then it's a bad trade. And by the way, I would have still made it. I'm never going to, even if the trade turns out to be a disaster, let's say Deshaun Watson just stinks or he can't ever stay healthy and he never plays at a Pro Bowl level for the Browns. Even then, I will not kill the Browns for the trade because at the time, it made 100% sense. Things don't always work out.
I like that.
Things don't always work out, but at the time, it made 100% sense. The Browns had decided, and I know I agreed with them, that Baker Mayfield was not good enough to win a Super Bowl with. So ultimately, you had to trade for a quarterback that you thought was good enough to win a Super Bowl. So, they thought Deshaun Watson was. I certainly thought Deshaun Watson was. To this point, he hasn't been, but it's not over yet.
So let me ask you this question.
Yeah.
First of all, it was 100% the right move to make at the time.
Yes.
But if Baker was a Super Bowl before the Browns do, was it a mistake to trade him?
I guess, yes, the Browns and I will be proven wrong. I just don't believe that's ever going to happen.
Hypothetically speaking.
Before we get to that, no, it's not a mistake because Baker Mayfield is who he is today because of what happened in Cleveland.
That's a fair point.
Without him going through that, he doesn't get to where he is today.
That's a good point. Now, I don't think he's ever going to get to a Super Bowl.
Well, I'm just saying, what
even
if he did?
Division in a weak conference. But I think G's right. I think what happened to him, the way he played last year, and I give him credit for it. He played well last year.
He did.
He earned
himself the bag.
I think G's right. I don't think he ever would have played that well had he not been through what he'd been through.
So he had to go fail in Carolina.
I think so.
I
think it's a good point.
Have a one game success with the Rams, then start failing, and then boom, blow up in Tampa Bay.
And
you know what? The league does a great job of humbling people, and maybe he just got a piece of humble pie.
And all Deshaun Watson has to do to shut up all the haters is play great.
Stole for 5,000 yards and 40 touchdowns.
It doesn't have to be 5,000 yards.
Let me get to 5,000 so I can
know it when we see it.
I want the petty Big Mac sauce on top of everything. Just put the Big Mac sauce on there.
See, I wouldn't even be. If he does this, I'm not even going to say anything.
Oh, well, I'll take yours then. Let me have whatever Tyvus ain't eating. I'll take that too.
Gee, I want the double petty. I want Watson to play great and Baker to suck this year. That's the double petty.
That is double. You are diabolical. you just gave the man credit and then took it all back.
The only thing that would happen is the Baker Bros last year, they got to say, see, told you so.
They had their
and all the people that was on Deshaun Watson's side had to be quiet. If it flips, the only thing happens is it flips.
Yeah, you're right.
But I think the Deshaun people might be just a tad bit more petty.
You think?
Yeah,
I think so.
Pettier.
Well, speaking of quarterbacks
go ahead.
and Baker Mayfield, PFF put out some quarterback rankings we're going to dive into in 1 second. A quick reminder, if you're in the chat, if you're watching, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. It is totally free. And tonight at 6 o'clock, Behind the Glass is coming back. Myself, Anthony, Earl, a brand new open too, so make sure you guys tune in at 6 o'clock to check out an episode of Behind the Glass. PFF put out their quarterback rankings for the upcoming season, and Deshaun Watson's ranking on this list sent our group chat into a frenzy yesterday. We're going to get to that ranking in a sec, but we'll give you the top 5 quarterbacks according to Trevor Sikkema of PFF. His top 5 quarterbacks, no surprise, Mahomes was 1, Lamar Jackson 2, Joe Burrow 3, Josh Allen 4, Justin Herbert 5. We'll go to the 5 quarterbacks in the tier ahead of Deshaun Watson next. That was Kirk Cousins at 15, Jared Goff at 16, Kyler Murray at 17, Geno Smith at 18, and Caleb Williams at 19. That is the QB melting pot category according to Pro Football Focus. The tier that Deshaun Watson's in was labeled the, quote, can single-handedly win and lose football games for you category. Baker Mayfield came in at number 20, Derek Carr 21, Russell Wilson 22, and Deshaun Watson landed at 23. Trevor Sikkema's explanation for putting Deshaun at 23 reads exactly like this. Watson has been a disappointment since joining the Cleveland Browns. He has played in just 6 games each of the past 2 seasons due to suspension and injury, and he is coming off a season-ending surgery to his throwing shoulder. His numbers reflect all of that. Watson's 58.7 cumulative PFF passing grade over the past 2 years ranks 53rd among qualifying passers. Still, his dominant days in a Texans uniform are not a figment of your imagination. Perhaps this is the year we see it again, though he is running out of time to prove it, end quote. Guys, the floor is yours.
I don't have a problem with that explanation.
Yeah.
I think it's actually is spot on. The category that he's in, I don't have a problem with the title of the category because I think that's a fact. He showed you that he can win a game by himself. a la the Baltimore Ravens second half.
Yeah.
Now, the number thing, that's where it may be a little bit of an issue because did he, like, I don't know if I'm willing to put him that low.
Stop.
Like, that's kind of that's kind of wild.
Like,
to me, I take him over Russell Wilson, Derek Carr any day of the week. Baker obviously Baker had a great season last year, so I wouldn't put him over there. But the fact that when you go to the tier before that.
Yeah, go to the tier before. Again,
like the Kyler Murray, the Caleb Williams, Geno Smith, like that. Y'all need to cut it out.
That's trash.
Like y'all need to cut it out.
That's a trash list, bro.
That's absurd that y'all really doing this.
I'm
like
sorry.
This.
Now, to be fair, Geno has played better than Deshaun the last 2 years.
Yeah, okay.
Isn't that fair? Hasn't he?
Yeah, he's played more.
Okay. Now, if you ask me right now, would I rather have Geno or Deshaun? I take Deshaun. I'm just giving both sides. I'm saying Geno's played better the last.
I'm not taking Geno
the last
Smith.
2 seasons, just so Geno has 50 touchdowns, 20 interceptions the last 2 seasons.
I mean, that's pretty good.
No, that's excellent.
Now,
but stop
Kyler Murray.
Stop it.
To me, Kyler Murray is like. He has the same problems Deshaun does, but not anywhere close to the success he's had.
Correct.
So I don't understand Kyler being ahead of him.
And then
but the one that really set G off was Caleb Williams.
Yeah.
That made you nuts.
Listen, first of all, let's talk about the rules of engagement out here. Right now, there's a lot of people that's in the club that be doing a lot of little funny style stuff that be making us look bad. As an athlete, as a former athlete, as a person who really loves the game and really watches it, and I'll try to watch what I say because I don't want to diminish what my credibility is by saying stuff because I thought it was cute at the time. You throw Caleb Williams in here at 19 because you thought it was cute. Like he thought he was trying to be cute, to be truthful.
He admitted it might be crazy in his write-up.
So just because he said he was trying to be cute, I'm still calling you out. Matter of fact, there's people that didn't even think Caleb Williams was the best quarterback in this draft class. We just saw that. Yeah. I saw Caleb Williams throw the ball to other people and be loosey-goosey with the ball at USC and lose to Utah.
Whoa, Utah was...
All right, see where we're going with this?
Utah was
you telling me, sight unseen, a man you've never seen throw a football in your life in the NFL is better than 10, 12 other quarterbacks?
That's absurd.
That is, you get your medals stripped for that. You get Marion Jones. Give me those.
Not to mention that he's going to Chicago, where the last successful quarterback they had was Rex Grossman.
You're calling him successful?
He went to the Super Bowl.
I mean, he did, but he
I'm just saying.
along for the ride.
I'm just saying.
And Rex Grossman.
Now you even making my point even more.
Yeah.
Like it's crazy to put somebody, and so you got him there. We talked about the Geno Smith one. Okay, you gonna trade Geno Smith? Nobody's trading Geno Smith for Deshaun.
Well, in fairness, I think most teams would take Caleb over Deshaun right now, money aside.
Yeah, because of the contract.
Right? Because
Forget the money.
Listen, to me,
you'd rather have the young guy, no?
I don't know what he's
How old is Deshaun? 28?
9?
20? No, I think he's 27.
Oh, that's still young.
It's disrespectful to Baker Mayfield to put him above. But he's
28. Sorry, 28.
Baker Mayfield is below Caleb Williams.
Yeah.
Come on now. And by the way, Russell Wilson, they paid like $900 million to give him away. Right? Like, so what are we talking about? Like,
but in the end, we asked you on the chat group yesterday where you'd have him, and you said 19. So it's not like you were that far off from where he had him.
But
I agree with you. I agree he should be higher on that list, but not that much higher.
Okay, so if they got him at 23, it ain't even like Tyver said. I agree with the labeling.
Yeah.
I agree with the thought process that he could win you a game and lose you a game.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, like Caleb Williams ain't Jameis Winston.
Like I said, Kyler, Geno, Caleb, who was the two above?
Goff and Kirk Cousins.
No. The next one.
Goff and Cousins, I got.
Yeah, no. I'm
fine with them.
Yeah.
And I think they might
go back to the
low.
tier that Deshaun is on.
They a little too low.
It's those three. Oh, Derek Carr, Russell Wilson. Like, that's 5 people that he should be above.
I agree.
Him and Baker both should be above those 5 names.
I would, even though Baker was better last year, I would have him ahead of Baker. I would have him. Show me the one before again, Mike. I would have Deshaun 17th Actually, higher than you said yesterday on the chat. I would have him 17th because I'd have had him out of those 3 on the bottom, and I have him over the 3 that he's behind on the other list.
I have him at 19, and I have Baker right at 18.
Okay, so why you put Baker ahead of him?
Yeah,
And he was better last year.
He was better. Like he was a Pro Bowler. He won a playoff game. Like
He did.
I'm not no hater.
He did.
You
All
know
right.
what I'm saying?
By the way, do you have 10 through 15 or no?
I do, yeah. Have the whole.
see 10 through
Not in
15.
graphics, but I could read you the rest. So we did the top 5.
Yeah.
He did it in tiers. So let me actually just go through the whole list. I'll give
Yeah.
you tiers. His tier 1s was the Mahomes tier.
Yeah.
Just Mahomes. Tier 2 was categorized the elite.
Yeah.
Lamar, Burrow, Josh Allen.
Okay.
Tier 3 was postseason caliber quarterbacks. That was Herbert. Dak Prescott came at 6. Matthew Stafford at 7. Aaron Rodgers at 8. Jalen Hurts at 9. And C.J. Stroud at 10.
Go Bucks.
11 through the next is the melting pot of starters, which is an extension of the tier before Deshaun.
Yeah.
Jordan Love 11, Trevor Lawrence 12, Brock Purdy 13, Tua 14, and then you saw Kirk Cousins at 15, Jared at 16. Jared
By the way,
Goff,
I'd have
and so on.
Brock Purdy, Goff, and Kirk Cousins ahead of Tua.
Yep.
And ahead of
Yep.
Trevor Lawrence.
Cosign. Listen,
Actually, I agree with that. Yeah, I would too.
Listen, Trevor Lawrence been riding on the Goldilocks.
He's
syndrome.
living on the name.
Like he's living on the
On
pretty
his-
hair and all
yeah.
that good. Listen,
He
I don't
gotta-
know what you've done.
Isn't he didn't sign an extension yet?
No.
It's there.
He's
He's in negotiations. I think I
Yeah.
keep seeing it on my Bleacher Report.
He
that
he was terrible as a rookie. His second year he was pretty good, especially at the end of the year.
Yeah.
And then last year he was a disappointment. So
He's like a Baker Mayfield.
yeah, honestly, Baker in 3 years was better than Trevor Lawrence. And I didn't think Baker was good enough.
That's why I be upset, man. Like people just be giving away stuff. Like
Yeah.
they say it so much, and then they like, well, we can't turn back on Trevor Lawrence as the greatest since John Elway. He's one of the greatest prospects I've ever seen. For real?
That is what they say.
And by the way,
That's
I
what-
kind of want to put, and I know it's not fair because he's only done it for 1 year, but I kind of want to put C.J. Stroud at number 5. I'm not at number 10.
Go
Now,
Bucks.
he's got to do it a second year.
Go
in the
Bucks.
end.
The way he looked, I ain't gonna lie, bro. I can't even say nothing. I gotta have it. He sent me a cease and desist
It's
after
not
the playoffs.
I'll tell you something. This is really bold. I'll say this is bold. It's possible that C.J. Stroud is number 2 by this time next year.
Can I read a little snippet from the C.J. Stroud write-up real quick?
Yeah.
Go Bucks.
Same write-up that wrote for Deshaun Watson. He said, cracking the top 10 after one season may seem like a reach for Stroud, but man, his rookie year was that impressive. His yards, touchdowns, and big-time throws were all placed in the top half of the league. He had some clutch moments and drives that were beyond his years. Here's the impressive part. Stroud also logged the third most completions of 20-plus air yards, 32, with the lowest turnover-worthy play rate in the league on such passes. That combination of success versus negative plays is unheard of for a rookie. So he was pushing the ball downfield, being aggressive,
Shout
but
out to
also
Coleridge.
being cautious
I
at the same
thought
time.
that C.J. Stroud was the most impressive rookie quarterback maybe I've ever seen in 50 years or 45 years of watching football. The only guy I could think of that might be better in my lifetime, and you guys, well, you're definitely too young. Gee, I can't remember. You're probably too young too. Was Dan Marino's rookie season?
Did they go to the champion or Super Bowl that year?
I can't remember.
Yeah.
If it was the first year or second year.
It was either first or second year.
Mike, look up Dan Marino's rookie stats because his rookie year was absurd. But I mean, C.J. Stroud played like a 10-year vet last year, in my opinion.
He balled out.
I mean, that was beyond impressive.
Dan Marino's rookie year was not that great. His second year was the crazy
Was
one.
it second year that he was crazy?
Second year, he threw 48 touchdowns.
Oh, second year, 48.
Well,
All right.
Does he have a reason why Aaron Rodgers is still that high?
I am not a believer in Aaron Rodgers, and it's not just 'cause he's batshit crazy. He's 40 and coming off an Achilles tear.
He can still sling that pill.
But
Look, he
Tyvus-
just look. 80.
Tyvus, have you had
He be just like this.
Tyvus, have you had teammates
90.
that have had an Achilles tear?
Yeah,
That's a hard
his
injury to come
name.
back,
His
especially
name
when you're
is
40.
Richard Sherman.
How old was he when he tore his Achilles? Like 30?
I think so, something like
It was
that.
tough to come back?
Yeah,
And that's at 30.
yeah. He was.
Rodgers is 40.
He only. I think Sherman only played like what? He played like 3 or 4 years, seasons left of that.
Yeah.
And then I could tell it went bad, and when he went to Tampa, it was just not the same.
By the way, I got to tell a quick sidebar story about Tyvus. Well, it's not. It's a little bit about you. You know Zach Meisel, who covers the Guardians beat reporter?
Or Zach Mizell.
No, that was what Mike was saying.
No, that's what Anthony said yesterday.
Oh, Anthony said it yesterday?
Yeah.
Did you know that when you guys won the national championship, he was covering the Buckeyes that year?
I did not know that.
He said, he and I were talking, and Zach covered the Buckeyes. I don't know if it was just that one year, but he covered. And he said that Tyvis was his favorite guy on the team. I'm not kidding. He said you were your favorite guy. He said you always were great with the media. You were, like, whenever he needed a quote,
they were my friends.
He would go to Tyvis, and I can't remember the exact quote, but the headline of his article about the national championship was a quote from you. I can't remember now what it was. I forgot. But it was something you said to him, and he said, "Oh, that's awesome." And he used it as a headline.
A lot of people.
But he said you were the nicest guy, one of the nicest players he's ever covered in sports.
Well, I try to treat people with respect.
Not a surprise.
And the thing about it is, with media, a lot of people hate media. To me, it's like, I'm going to have fun with this whole thing. Like, to me, it's all about fun. I enjoy what I'm doing. It's a part of what I got to do, so I might as well have fun with the media members.
And as someone who's been in the media now.
I'm not in the media.
You know that the majority of media members, contrary to popular belief, and I'm not saying there aren't jerks out there.
Oh, actually, they are really nice.
But most media members are not trying to put you in a bad light.
They want to get it right because they don't. That's the thing. They don't want to put you in a bad light.
Right. They don't want to get. Nobody wants to get it wrong on purpose. Yeah, there are jerks in the business, just like every other business. But most people want to get it right and be fair. Most.
Yeah, all the people, all the media members that I've met since I've been in this space as a former athlete. It's all nice people, really good stories. They do a really good job of making sure they ask you again because they want to get it specifically like you said. And when you get quoted, they want to make sure that they got their recorders out to make sure that they quoted exactly how you said it. So I appreciate those things, and I know the players do too.
Cool.
We're going to talk a little more Browns at the end of the show with some wild trade ideas. But let's pivot to the Cavs after a quick word from today's show sponsor, which is Yahoo Finance. Wouldn't it be great if you could see all of your investment and retirement accounts in one place? Well, with Yahoo Finance, you can consolidate your views from multiple accounts into one hub and access the expert analysis you need to tend to your entire portfolio with confidence. For more than 25 years, Yahoo Finance has been the brand behind every great investor. Whether you're a seasoned investor or looking for just a little bit of extra guidance, Yahoo Finance gives you all the tools and data you need in one place. They're the #1 finance destination, producing a holistic look at the financial news cycle, including breaking news, original editorial perspectives, analyst ratings, independent research, customizable charts, and so much more. Securely link your brokerage accounts for an ununified view of your wealth, including 401k and other investments. A comprehensive perspective is what sets apart great investors from just the good ones, and you deserve to be a great investor. Yahoo Finance ensures you have the insight to look at your wealth in its entirety. So for a comprehensive financial news and analysis plan, visit the brand behind every great investor, yahoofinance.com. The #1 financial destination, as you know, is yahoofinance.com. One more time. Head over to yahoofinance.com for all your financial help and needs. It has now been 1 week since the Cleveland Cavaliers were eliminated by the Boston Celtics from the playoffs, and we are yet to get a decision on the future of certain players on this roster and the future of the head coach. So, Bolt, G, Tyvis, I'm curious. By this process delaying as long as it has, whether decisions been made or not, are the Cavs in danger of missing out on some top head coaching candidates if this process continues to drag on?
G, what say you?
No. I think they've already done some digging around a little bit, and certain people that might be up for the Lakers job, probably ain't gonna be up for the Cavs job anyway. The Wizards is still available, but the
Wizards is the Wizards.
They're the Wizards, and the Cavs are better than the Wizards, so that they can get whoever they want out of that pool of people. Yeah. For me, the only thing that I'm worried about is I don't like how it's perceived. Like, you know what I'm saying? One of the things, if I'm Donovan Mitchell, and my thought process was, look, I don't think y'all are very serious about what we're doing right here. We need to be making moves to get better. We need to. What's the plan? What's the game plan here? When you waffle around for a week and a half, 2 weeks, I'm sitting there watching you like, well, you seem very torn, right? You seem very torn on this. Like, you got to really think about something. Ain't nothing to really think about. it's like, yo, like this wasn't good enough. Let's keep it pushing. Let's find another coach. Let's figure out what we're gonna do. I don't understand what the holdup is, but that just goes to show you how indoctrinated stuff be, right? When you get people that be in these positions, and I'm gonna just be clear, that don't know what they're doing. Let's be clear. Like, you know, this should have already been something that they was working throughout the season.
Yeah.
You make the evaluation. You've had 3-4 years to figure this out. It ain't about this last 2 weeks. They playing around.
Tyvis, what do you think?
I don't think that they're missing out on candidates because I think that if they are going to move on from JB, they've already started the talks with other candidates to let them know, like, hey, we will be moving on from him. We want to gauge your interest. We find you perfect for our candidacy, you know, stuff like that. I think that if they do fire JB, then you'll start seeing guys start to roll in. But I don't think, like, if I'm a top candidate, first of all, if you're looking at L.A., Cleveland, and Washington, the Washington thing, ain't nobody looking at Washington. And L.A., I think L.A. is down to, don't they got like their top two? It's Redick and somebody else, I thought it was.
They've interviewed Sam Cassell. They've talked to J.J. Redick. I'm not sure they've finalized a top 2 or 3 yet. But.
So, like, I feel like for them, they kind of already got – they think it's probably J.J. Redick because they think that's who LeBron wants. So they trying to do whatever they can to please LeBron. But as far as Cleveland goes, I think they already have their pool of coaches that they already want to cycle through. So I don't think that they're going to miss out on any of those things. If it is being a delay on it, then I think that they just – I think what G is mad about is right. I think they might be torn, you know, to the fact that they look at it like – me and Jason sat it. Like, they sat there, they went from a play-in team to a first-round team to a second-round team with this same guy. And so it's like every year he's progressed. But the question is, it's kind of like when the Browns had to make the decision on Baker. You got to look at your coach and say, is this the guy that can take us all the way to winning? And that's the question that people don't know. And I don't think they want to be wrong. Because if you got a coach that you feel is good enough, you want to keep that guy around because he's grown and you just believe that he can get it done. But if players is coming out and saying that they've lost faith in him, that there's you can't keep that guy and also keep those players. So you got to make a decision. Do you want to stay with this coach and lose the players, or do you want to keep the players and lose the coach? You're not going to have both. It's just not going to happen.
He going to try it.
It's not going to happen.
Kobe.
I told you. I said it yesterday. The only way that JB and the core 4 and everybody come back is if LeBron James say, I'm coming to Cleveland. If that what happens, then boom, it can work. But if that don't happen, it's not. It's just not going to happen.
To me, if JB were back, that means Donovan's gone, that they're trading Donovan. And none of us want to see that happen. I agree with what you guys are saying. I'm not worried about – listen, in the end, it doesn't matter how much time it takes. As you guys have both already talked about, the Lakers, the Cavs, and the Wizards are fishing in 3 different lakes.
Yeah.
I mean, it's totally different candidates. The Cavs are not going to lose a candidate to the Wizards, and the Lakers ultimately can get whoever they want, pretty much. You know, and
it's L.A. Like, ain't nobody about to tear down the Lakers.
Coach that's got you got to be a certain type of coach to coach LeBron. It's got to be somebody that LeBron can say all he wants. Oh, I'm not involved. Of course he's involved. Of course he's LeBron.
Do you know what LeBron wants, by the way?
What's that?
The Clippers and Ty Lue are at a standstill in contract negotiations.
Yeah, I'm sure LeBron would love to have Ty Lue back.
I think that's who he's really targeting for the next Lakers
Probably
coach.
True. But I'll tell you, there's 2 candidates to me that I find interesting. Because I don't think there's any, like, Mike, your question is, are they going to lose out on the top candidates? I don't know that there are any top candidates.
The only one that they 100% would have considered who's no longer available is Coach Bud Budenholzer, who signed with the Suns.
But let me give you a couple of candidates, and you tell me what you think. And number 1 is Kenny Atkinson. Kenny Atkinson has been an assistant coach with Golden State the last few years, so he knows a lot about winning. And remember, he was a coach of that awful Nets team. Remember, they had, like, no talent, and he made them, like, really competitive.
Yeah.
Like
Jared Allen was part of that team.
Yeah.
What's that?
Jared Allen was part of that team.
Right, but
Karis LeVert was on that team.
Right, that was a team that everybody thought was going to be like the worst team in the NBA, and they ended up being pretty competitive.
Yeah, actually, we had the Nets 8th overall pick, and we thought it was going to be higher, and the Nets screwed it all the way up.
That's true. I remember. Right, you're right. Going into that year, we're like, oh, the Cavs have a good shot at the first pick.
No, they were feisty. They were feisty.
Yeah.
Do you want my? I was going to do this till JB officially got fired, but do you want to see the 6 names I think who are absolutely
All right, but let me give you one more before you give me
Atkinson's on the list.
And then I want one more.
Yeah, sure.
I want Hurley from UConn.
Not happening. But he'd be awesome.
He'd be awesome.
That would be great. He's a great coach.
He's a freaking great
He's
coach.
a no-brainer, but I just assumed he wasn't going to leave college. But
he just got a ginormous raise.
Yeah.
I'm talking ginormous raise.
And
But who wants to deal with NIL and all
It's
the
probably not as
transfer
big a
portal?
deal in college because guys leave after one. I mean, sorry, in basketball because guys leave after 1 year anyway.
He don't recruit them type dudes.
Yeah,
He just be like,
he's a different kind of cat.
And
I ain't recruiting them.
he's got a job for life there. They're never going to fire him ever.
No, they're not.
In the NBA, no matter how good you coach you are, you can get fired in 2 years if it doesn't work out.
No, Greg Popovich still rolling.
Well, but Greg Popovich had built up his.
Who's
and,
OT?
and speaking of Greg Popovich, that brings you to my second choice, and that's Becky Hammond.
I thought
and
you was going to say Greg Popovich.
No.
Say you need to
And
cut
I
it
know a
out.
lot of people are going to roll their eyes. Oh, you just want to hire her because she's a woman.
She got
no,
the
I want to
aces
hire her
rolling.
because she's a badass coach.
Yes, she is.
I'd hire her.
I'd
She
hire her
is a great
too.
coach. She is a freaking winner. Everything she's done, she's been a winner. Now, I can't speak to the Cavs individual players and how they're going to react to a woman. That's obviously a potential roadblock. I do feel like NBA players in general have come a long way, and maybe I'm kidding myself, in terms of open-mindedness. Like, I feel like a lot of NBA players support the WNBA, support the women's players, and what the chemistry would be like for the first time ever with a woman head coach and men players, I don't know. But I will say this. There's no way you can be involved in basketball in any men, women, whatever, and not respect what Becky Hammond has accomplished in the game as a coach, an assistant coach, and a player. She's a winner. She's a great coach. And I guess it's a little outside the box because it would be the first time ever. But I think she'd do a great job.
Didn't she coach some games for the Spurs?
I think in the summer league.
She was their summer league coach for a little bit.
Well, she got the aces. They can't lose, so they done went back to
Meanwhile,
back.
Indiana hasn't won a game.
They should have won the Suns against the Suns. I watched that one.
Yeah.
Aaliyah Boston took the ball like she was Caitlin Clark. I was like, if you don't get the ball out your hand.
By the way, there's real quick before you give the rest, Mike. There's a very funny picture of what's her name, the big girl from
Cardosa and Angel Reese with Cubs
Shota
pitcher.
Imanaga is a pitcher on the Cubs.
Yeah,
and there's a picture of the two of them standing with it because they
he's
threw out the
short.
first pitch of the Cubs game yesterday. He's short for a baseball player. He's a little short. And she's so tall.
Yeah.
It's a funny looking picture. But anyway, go ahead.
All right, so we'll dive deeper into this.
Was Becky Hammond on your list?
No, but a different Spurs assistant is.
Okay.
So we'll dive deeper into this when any news becomes official. It's not worth diving super deep into this if they bring back JB. So I'll just give you a list of guys I think make sense if the Cavs decide to move on from JB Bickerstaff. The first one, the other Spurs assistant, not Becky Hammond, James Borrego, who was the head coach for the Charlotte Hornets. It didn't work out in Charlotte. He was a really, really, really highly regarded assistant with the Spurs, was Pop's top guy for about 10 years. In Charlotte, those teams were abysmal. He had them competitive just like Atkinson did in Brooklyn, but I think he's a guy that's going to get a second chance to be a head coach. He didn't fit on the list because I can only put 5 bullet points, but Borrego plus these next 5 are guys I think the Cavs will absolutely circle as candidates to interview. Kenny Atkinson,
Chris Quinn,
who you talked about. Chris Quinn, who played here in Cleveland. He's been Spo's top assistant now for 7 years. He's been on Spo's bench for a decade. He helped utilize and integrate Bam Adebayo into the focal point of their offense, a la Evan Mobley here potentially. Dave Yeager's had 2 head coaching stints. He coached for Memphis and Sacramento. He's been an assistant coach for Doc Rivers in Philadelphia. He was a consultant this year with the Cavs. Him and Dan Gilbert have a little tie. And then he went
Is
and
he
joined
old?
his. No, he's not old.
Okay.
He's not that old. Sam Cassell, who's a superstar coach in terms of superstar players, love Sam Cassell. If you're going to keep Donovan, that could be a guy that he may see as a coach he wants to work with. And then Johnny Bryant was Donovan's guy in Utah. He's now the associate head coach with the Knicks, but he was a player personnel development guy with the Utah Jazz when Donovan was there. They go way back. So I think those 5 plus James Borrego are 6 candidates the Cavs would definitely look at. We'll dive deeper into the pros and cons of each when we have to.
Yeah.
But those are at least 6 names to keep an eye on.
You know what's the crazy part about it is I'd take any of those guys over what we got now.
Absolutely.
Any of
Who
those
was your other?
I listen. I said the dude from Connecticut, Hurley.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
So, but
That's right.
but
Yeah,
out of that list, I like Quinn.
Chris Quinn.
Because I need
Columbus.
I need a game plan, man. All this rolling the ball out, running pick and rolls. That's
what I feel. I just want somebody that runs offense. Like I'm sick of to get the ball and just stand to the side and
all
watch.
of this stuff in the league. This is an indictment. All of this, I'm sick and tired of seeing people trying to hunt and peck for pick and rolls and switches. That is not offense. That is, hold on, I got an advantage. Let me switch this pick and roll and go ISO. That is not offense, bro. That is not going to work if you play in the top teams. I hate that offense. Yeah. It's terrible.
Taking somebody from Miami's coaching tree or San Antonio, I know San Antonio hasn't been as good the last few years, certainly, but those are organizations that have done more with less over the years than any other organizations.
Yeah,
I like Yeager
I'd
too.
probably take Chris Quinn because like I said, he's from Ohio, Columbus, so that make it be perfect. I feel like it'll mean a little bit more to. I don't know if he's a Cavs fan or not, but I just
played here.
Yeah, he played here, so I think it'll just mean a little bit more to him. I'm always for a guy that played for the organization or that's from that around where that team is playing at because it just means more.
All right, Mike, what do we got?
If I had to put a Vegas line on who would be the favorite to replace JB if it came to it, Atkinson would be my favorite.
You
Not
never know
necessarily
with
the best
Dan
choice.
Gilbert, though. He hires
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You don't know. I'm just guessing, but I think
David Blatt.
Atkinson would be option A
Bring back
for
Blatt.
the Cavs. One last name that I didn't mention, and there's a reason why, but is Frank Vogel, who just got dismissed by the Suns. I think they have to bring in an offensive-minded coach. And Vogel has built his resume and his entire career of being a defensive-oriented head coach. I just think they go with an offensive guy when they bring in a new head coach.
Makes
so
sense.
that's why Frank Vogel was an intentional omission from this list.
Okay.
All right, we're going to talk about a different Cavs thing in a sec, whether or not Evan Mobley's worth $260 million. After a quick reminder that this show and all UCSS shows is sponsored by FanDuel. It's winner take all time in the NBA and NHL, and FanDuel is giving you a shot to bring home a big win of your own. Right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets with any winning $5 bet. That's $150 to bet on spreads, money lines, player props, and more. Visit FanDuel.com/UCSS and make every playoff shot count. FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Guys, it is decision time for the Cavs on a ton of roster positions as well, including what to do with Evan Mobley, who is eligible for the rookie extension this summer. Now, according to ESPN Radio yesterday, Brian Windhorst said that Evan Mobley is only considering the rookie max extension from the Cavs. He does not want to have any conversations that involve anything that is not the rookie max extension. And although we don't know the exact number of what that extension would be, we do know that LaMelo Ball, the 2020 number 3 overall pick a year before Evan Mobley, got the rookie max. It was 5 years, $260 million. So the Cavs would be looking at an extension in that realm in terms of money. There's some stipulations, again, of 3 5-year rookie max deals. They already have Garland and Mitchell, so if they keep both of those, he'd only be able to sign a 4-year rookie max extension. But numbers-wise, we're looking at $50+ million a year for Evan Mobley.
Hey, Mike,
Is it worth it?
there's no reason they have to sign him this offseason, right?
Technically, no, but in most cases, you don't want to let him get to restricted free agency because other teams can then counteroffer.
So you're saying they got to do it this offseason?
No.
How am I supposed to pay a max extension guy
So it was
who's just an average player?
if somebody offers him an offer sheet, can they offer him more than the Cavs can?
This summer, no. He's under contract next year
right.
no matter what. So
but at the end of next year, you're saying?
he becomes a restricted free agent, and then it becomes a little dicey. There are examples of guys. Brandon Ingram, by the way, did not sign his extension after his 4th year. He waited till his 5th year, then got his max extension.
Right.
Or is now eligible for a second max extension. He got his long-term extension. So there are situations, but for the most part,
I'm gonna wait this out.
you sign it after their 3rd season.
I'm with G. I'm waiting this out. I just don't. How am I paying a guy what are you going to pay him? 270, 280,
260.
Well, it was 260.
Well, it's 260,
for
but
last
the salary goes up, so it's probably 270-ish.
Like I can't pay 270 to a guy who's just an okay player, right? At this point,
I want to see what you're gonna do. I gave you an opportunity to come back with a new game 3 years in a row. You didn't do it, so I'm gonna. You saw what happened when you rewarded Darius Garland's game, right? Well, projecting is fine, but guess what? This ain't bad. This is not football. Football, these contracts is not guaranteed. If they would have slipped up and gave David Njoku that deal and he didn't do nothing, everything's a player option in 2 years. Team option, you're out of here. With this, no, I need you to come back with a max game. I need you to be in the offseason work with only guards. You shouldn't be dealing with no big man jump hook. You should be working out at camps with guards, just only guards. And then on top of that, I need you to come back with at least 15 pounds. You better be eating peanut butter and jelly, protein shakes. I don't care what you got to do. 15 pounds. I need a jumper. I need a go-to move. And then when you come and give me my 20 and 10, because Jared Allen ain't gonna be here, that's what I'm looking for. 20 and 10. It should be in his contract. Unless you give me 20 and 10 and 2 blocks, I can't give you that bread this year. You're not getting no money this year.
Is it wrong that I'm saying I want more than that? I want 22 and 12.
I mean, you ain't wrong. For a max dude, max.
I mean, if he's going to be a max player, I want him to be the number 2 scoring option behind Donovan and the number 1 rebounder and the number 1 defender. That's not unreasonable.
Is that unreasonable, McNuggets?
22 and 12?
Yeah.
I mean, no.
Wait a minute.
It should have been. It all depends on how often they've used him in the offense.
What is he at, right? What was his average this year?
15.
He averaged like 16 and 9.
Karis LeVert can give you 16 and 9 if they played him all the minutes.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Let's look at this.
All right, here we go.
Let's look at this correctly.
Let's break this down.
So one, I think the Cavs is a little bit skeptical because of how the Darius thing looks currently. They gave him the max last year. He didn't look well when you needed him in the big moments. He didn't show up. So they're a little scarred from giving the max deals right now. 2, if you do decide to blow this core 4 thing up and you do move off of Jared Allen, you got to see him in the playoffs, against Boston Celtics, and he was able to hold his own. A lot of people would say that he grown. So a lot of people think that that's what it's going to be like if he is at the center. Although he doesn't want to play center according to his agent, right? And the scariest part about all this is, if I'm a Cavs person, is didn't they say he didn't want to be drafted here? He wanted to go to OKC.
Yes, Jason had said that.
Okay, so if that's the case, next year when he's unrestricted.
No, next year he'll be restricted.
No, he said
next year he'd be restricted.
Yeah.
Oh, so so you can still give it to him next year.
Yes.
And he has no choice but to take it.
Well, a restricted free agent means someone can make him an offer sheet.
And then you just match it off.
Right.
That's what happened with what's that dude that played for the DeAndre Ayton?
DeAndre Ayton.
Yeah, that's what happened with him. So I think that would be the way I would go. I would do the DeAndre Ayton thing with Evan Mobley because I got to see it. Like, I can't pay him right now because I don't know what it's going to look like for 82 games. Like, the one thing about if we do move off of Jared Allen and it's just him as the big man, he had a durability problem last year. He wasn't available for a lot of the season. So how does that look giving a max player a contract or a max contract to a player that's not available? Then now we wasted money. So I would definitely wait. I'm with y'all in that. I'd wait till next year to give him that contract. He would have to show me what he would be like as the only big man on the court. And if everything is going well, obviously don't know what the coaching thing is going to be. If they do move off of JB, they need to get an offensive mind so he can work on his offensive game. Defensively, I think he's solid. But offensively is where the problem is. If he ups his game offensively, becomes more confident in his shot, and we can spread the floor with him being a shooter, or maybe he even have a little ball handled to him, then that makes him worth that big max contract. But right now, I think I wouldn't give it to him this year.
Yeah. And he showed
a lot of promise.
In that Boston series,
he showed a
lot of promise, but we got to see that consistently, and we got to see that with Donovan Mitchell too. Mike, you're Mr. NBA. What do you think? Do you think they should give it to him now, or are you with us that they should wait a year?
I think they're handcuffed. I think they have to give it to him now.
Why?
Because if you don't, and you believe, and I believe anything Jason reports, so when he says the Cavs weren't where Mobley wanted to go, by then waiting to give him the rookie max extension, which it sounds like he's not even going to consider anything else, it's bad. And it's not wrong. It's just bad practice in terms of becoming an organization that already has issues attracting players to come to you. Like, you kind of have to take care of your own guys. Whether it's right or wrong, I don't think they have a choice.
I just don't understand that. When did it become that guys should get paid even when they haven't earned it?
I'm not saying I agree with it. I'm just telling you, I I don't think they have a choice. I think they have to.
Look, man.
I think they have to.
Again, when
Especially if you're going to – sorry to cut you off, but especially if you're going to trade away Jared Allen and build around Mobley as your certified, bona fide one-star big man, or what you hope to be a one-star big man, you have to pay him in that sense. Like, you have to.
You see, this is my problem. You see the way that the Knicks play?
Yeah.
They play like their hair is on fire. They ain't doing none of that. They don't do. See, what happens when you get to a point where you're passive and you don't show any true leadership? Pat Riley don't give nobody no extensions unless he feel like you getting it. Yeah. That's it. Like, and people are like, well, I'm going to Miami. The reason why other people want to go to these other places is because they run it the right way. But when you keep doing stuff backwards and saying, well, I'm handcuffed, I got to give Mobley a deal. Well, did you have to give Darius Garland a deal too?
Yeah.
Did you not know that you need to get rid of this coach, but you're waffling around? Did you not know that time is ticking on Donovan Mitchell? All of these little different things, all these little fires that you're putting out. And do you have the right general manager to be able to lock in and focus and say, boom, 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 this is our plan, this is what we're going to do, and how we move it? I don't like people that be indecisive. Indecisive, you look long, you look wrong. It's good. Everybody else is getting better. Teams is getting better. Teams is developing people. And we still sitting here talking about 15 points. I tell them, listen, I like your game. But if you get mad that I'm not going to give you money before you prove it, then are you built for it?
That's the day we live in.
I know.
Is you built for it then?
But I think she's right. I feel like it's a loser mentality to start, well, what else can we do? We got to pay the guy. Well, make him earn it. And if he can't leave, he's not an unrestricted free agent, so what is he going to do?
To G's point, and I think Mobley's saying, I'm not going to listen to anything but the max.
I wouldn't offer nothing
is
but
an
the
issue
max.
Because I just was curious. I looked at two other comparable guys. Comparable is not the exact right word, but from the 2019 draft. Tyler Hero, who had won a Sixth Man of the Year before signing his extension, signed a rookie extension, not the rookie max, a rookie extension, 4 years, $130 million. R.J. Barrett, who was a third overall pick 2 years before Evan Mobley, 4-year, $110 million contract extension. Not the rookie max, $27 million or $26 million a year for Barrett. About 20, what's the math on that? 130 divided by 4.
Yeah, this is not NFL quarterbacks where the next guy just
that
gets more
money feels a lot more comparable to what Evan Mobley has earned to this point of his career. Which, and you want to say 130 is too much for Evan Mobley? Well, that's kind of the going rate of players in that realm. A max, like Anthony Edwards signed the rookie max. Zion, those guys are in different tiers right now than Mobley. But if he's coming out this early and saying, I'm not going to listen to anything but the max, I don't know what the Cavs – I feel like the Cavs are handcuffed.
I mean, Anthony Edwards is like 13 tiers ahead.
He's in a different – he's in the DC universe. He's in the Marvel universe.
I think when Evan Mobley is if he's putting this out there, it's only simply because he felt that he played so well against Boston that to him he felt like he's earned it. And what people are thinking, what he got to realize is – you did that for, what was that, 5 games? So
5 games.
6, whatever it was, 5 games. But what about the rest of the time?
Yeah.
Like the rest of the time, you wasn't available. And then in the Orlando series, was he good in the Orlando series?
No.
I don't remember.
No.
He was very up and down.
See, and that's the thing. Like you want to get paid all of this bread. Like, you want to get paid big-time money, but you're not that big-time player yet. Like, you're not you haven't been a difference maker. You've had one game where you've actually made a difference, and that was game 5 of the Celtics.
And when you got to
where he had like 30 or something like that.
But in the end, he didn't make a difference because they lost.
Well, still, but I'm saying,
he played a great game.
He has so much to get to. Like, dude, you're going to be at the – if they get rid of Jared Allen, you're going to be at the 5, so you're going up against Embiid, Joker, Cat. Like, you're going up against all these dudes.
By those guys.
Yeah, so, like, that – why we going to pay you to get smoked by these guys?
Yeah.
Like,
hey, let me ask
Mike,
you guys,
I think the Cavs are stupid if they give him
let me ask you guys a question.
They're
I'm going to
stupid.
read you players from the 2020 draft, the year before Evan Mobley was selected. You tell me when the player is comparable to where Evan Mobley is now, and I'll tell you how much money that player got in extension.
All right.
I have all the rookie extensions from the 2020 draft class. Anthony Edwards.
I mean, stop it.
Just say no so we're on the same page.
Absurd. No.
LaMelo Ball.
No, right?
what's the question?
Is we got it.
Are they worth the
We
rookie
need to
max?
stop
No, I'm telling you, you
when
stop.
he
where-
mentions a player that Evan Mobley is in that player's class.
Oh,
He's not in LaMelo
yeah,
Ball's
all right.
class, right?
Well, LaMelo got hurt, didn't he?
He be on it.
They about the same
on,
because
on strictly skill set.
no,
Tyrese Halliburton,
no.
Desmond Bain.
I don't know enough.
Low key.
How about this?
Low key, Desmond Bain is like that dude out there. Low key, like he's averaging almost 20, right?
I think he averaged
Desmond
more
Bain
than
averaged
that.
a lot. Desmond Bain can hoop.
He averaged like
Is Desmond,
24.
do you
No.
think he's in the Desmond Bain class?
No.
I mean, he better be.
That's a damn good name.
Desmond Bain last year
What's the
averaged
numbers?
24 points a game. The
Yeah,
year
I would
before he
say
averaged
he averaged
22.
24.
His sophomore season, he averaged 18. Desmond Bain can
Sophomore,
play.
not college. man.
But
Come
you got to
on.
remember,
he's in the 20s.
you got to remember Desmond Bain. His numbers went up because John Morant was out this year. So.
Hey man, I saw
24 and what, Mike?
This season, he was the Grizzlies' best player. He averaged 24 points on 46% shooting,
That's
38 from three.
come
He averaged 4 rebounds, 5.5 assists.
No.
And
he's
you're going to
not.
put Evan Mobley in his
No.
level? No
I'm saying he
chance.
better be. I'm just saying he better.
What's
be.
he's not
All right,
yet.
But he ain't.
What's the next?
Not yet, no,
what's
no.
the next
He better
day
be. Devin Vassell of the Spurs.
with the
I
Spurs?
know he's good, but I don't know what kind of season he had this year. Who's paying attention to the Spurs?
Evan Mobley's right. That's where I think Evan.
I was about to say
Mobley's
they're
in.
about the same.
So what was his extension?
5 years, 150 mil.
Okay.
Well, that's a big difference.
That's my point.
Yeah.
I think Evan Mobley is, by saying I want the max, I'm not going to talk about anything else but the max, is putting him in a category.
Do you know what
don't think
you
he
know what I
belongs
would
to
do if I was the Cavs? I wouldn't even talk to him this year.
Yeah,
I wouldn't even talk to him. If you don't want to talk about nothing but the max, then I ain't
Yeah.
got nothing to say to you.
We'll see you next year. If
See
you
you
play
next
great
year.
next
And
year, I'll
then
give you the
then
max.
I'll pick up the phone and talk to you.
And I always go back and I compare people because sometimes you got to put it in perspective, right? We be just throwing superstar, unicorn all out there. Listen, do you know, like, do you think LaMarcus Aldridge was
Stop
a
it.
unicorn?
No.
Do you think
He's a
LaMarcus
good
Aldridge was a
player.
superstar?
Yeah, he was a superstar. DeMarcus Aldridge?
I don't think Aldridge was like.
DeMarcus Aldridge with the
I don't think he was-
Trailblazers was
he-
that deal.
Well,
He was
just
a
to put
superstar.
it, just
He was a
to,
very good
LaMarcus
player.
Aldridge with the Trailblazers, he was that deal.
What did he do his
So
first 3 years?
his first year he didn't do much, 9.5. But 2007, 2008 with the Portland Trailblazers, he averaged he had actually 17.8, so 18 and 8. Then he went to 18 and 8 again. He took off his fourth year with the Trailblazers. He averaged 21 and 9. And then his peak actually was 2014-15. He averaged 23 and 10. Now
with the
look,
Spurs or the Trailblazers?
that was for the Trailblazers.
Now I say, don't do that.
And
LaMarcus was that deal.
even guys like Chris,
can hoop. He's good.
even guy like Chris Webber, 27, 11, and 4 assists
Yeah.
in Sacramento. Now those guys didn't even win championships.
The difference is those guys were featured in an offense. Mobley was an afterthought this year. So
Well, but if he's that's why
But if his
I
game
think
was there-
we all want to see him as the number 2 option
I
maybe
totally
next
agree.
season, and then
Totally
see what
agree.
he, how good he can be.
but we're gonna have to wait. We're gonna wait a little bit.
Yeah.
Now listen, do you think that McNuggets he gonna get upset because he gonna look at other people and say, well, this is the year I'm supposed to get it?
Who cares?
I think he would. Yeah, I do.
So what is he going to
I
do
do.
about it?
He's gonna have to play because he's still.
What
in
he gonna do?
contract,
Ask for a
but-
trade?
I mean, he could. If it
And
sounds
you know,
like his
and you know what you say to that? We got you under contract for 2 more years. Go sit over there.
it sounds like his
We'll see-
representation
we'll see
didn't
you at
want
the
him to go
season
to
start.
Cleveland to begin with. So if they pissed him
screw
off,
him.
maybe they could say, "Get me out."
At the
I'm,
end
I'm
of
just
the-
throwing out the scenario. I'm
At
not
the
saying
end of
it's
the
gonna
day,
happen.
money talks, and if they're gonna give him more money than anybody else could give
That
him,
that is why I'm anxious to see a new voice.
he gonna get the 8 and treatment.
If you have a new voice come in there and say, listen, man, we're gonna make you a focal part of what we're trying to do offensively. But for us to put that kind of investment in you with time, energy, and putting our offense in your hands, we got to see X, Y, and Z growth from you. We want to see you come back stronger. We want to see you come back with a go-to post move. I show them the tape where they basically is putting guards on him.
Yeah.
Like I say, listen, you're better than this. We believe in you, but we challenging you as a basketball player to
Right.
get there. And if he can't take that level of a challenge, then again,
Then you don't need him.
Then he's not meant for what you're trying
That's
to
right.
do because that pressure is going to only mount. Because when he's a second player, we're no longer going to Darius Garland say you got to step up. It's now
That's right.
Evan Mobley who we on like, no, you ain't
Absolutely.
doing enough.
All right, that's it for the NBA for now. We'll get more at the end of the show to some crazy Browns trades. But now it's time to talk about the Guardians, Mike.
Before we do that, I did ask the chat.
Yeah.
Is Evan Mobley worth the max extension or not? 53% of the chat said yes, he is. 47% said no, he's not. A lot of, and I only took a really quick glance, a lot of people said it's the cheapest he's going to be, so you might as well pay him now.
That's stupid.
With that being said, let's talk a little Guardians. 5 wins in a row for the Guards. It's 8 of their last 9, and David Fry continues to mash in the lineup. Bo, you put in the group chat yesterday.
Yeah.
Does David Fry have to be a staple at least 6 days a week of the Cleveland Guardians lineup? And if so, how do you fit him in?
Well, there's no doubt about it, guys. David Fry needs to be playing just about every, and he's playing a lot now. I mean, I don't know how many games he started in the last 3 weeks. It's probably been close to full time. But David Fry has been fantastic. And however you do it, excuse me.
Bless.
Bless you.
Bless.
Double bless you.
Thank you. However you have to do it, you do it. And you do it by, catching him a little bit of first base, a little bit DH. He's a flexible guy. He can play the outfield a little bit in the corners. I move him around as much as I need to. Now, I stirred up a little controversy on Twitter yesterday with some of the diehard Guardians fans when I said that when Stephen Kwan comes back, which is probably in about 2 weeks, that if Bo Naylor is still really struggling, and he is struggling big time offensively, that I would consider sending Bo Naylor down. You look at Bo Naylor hitting 168. In the month of May, he's batting $150. I'm sorry, he's batting $140.
He's not even putting together good at bats.
No, he has 2 extra base hits this month. 2. 1 double and 1 home run. Now, I'm still very high on Bo Naylor. His defense has improved. He's number 1 in the league in terms of pitch framing, which is the ability to get a called strike on a pitch that probably should be called a ball. That's a big deal. Mm-hmm. It's part of the reason the Guardians pitching has done well, because Naylor's done a good job with that. His defense has improved. He still is a little shaky sometimes with the throwing and the blocking the balls, but his defense has improved. His pitch framing is good, but his hitting's a disaster, and I'm worried that he's lost confidence because he was brought up as a hitter, and he hit great last year. Mm-hmm. So it's sometimes a guy needs a reset in the minors. And some people got like, you can't send him to the minors. His pitch framing is great. I know his pitch framing is great. I don't want to send him to the minors. But if he can't hit if he's only hitting $150, eventually you got to make that decision. We're not there yet because Stephen Kwan's not ready to go. But guys, David Fry is a guy that I've been a little concerned that if he played too much, would get exposed. You see that in football, Tyvis, right?
Yeah.
You have a guy that plays part-time. Mm-hmm. Maybe he's a 5-carry a guy as a running back, 5-carry a game guy as a running back.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, you give him a chance at 18 carries, and he averages 2 yards a carry because he's a guy who was good in small spots. And I kind of thought about David Fry as that type of guy because he's a late developer. Yeah. He's 27, 28 years old. I mean, he's not a young guy. He played in the minors for a long time. All I know is almost every time they give him a chance to play, he comes through. Yesterday, he pinch hits. And pinch hitting is tough, and it's a home run.
I was just about to say that.
Yeah.
When you are pinch hitting, you getting off the bench cold.
Yes.
You haven't seen any pitches.
Nope.
Yeah.
And for him to come in and hit a home run as a pinch hitter means that one thing, he's seeing the ball very well. He's seeing the ball very well, and to do that, you want to capitalize off that a little bit.
Yeah.
You want to give him, especially when the guy is doing that, you want to give him as many opportunities as you can at the plate because he's really seeing the ball very well. On the other side of the coin, Bo Naylor is he's swimming at the plate. He's not getting good swings on the ball. He's not hitting the ball hard anywhere. He's getting fooled on some pitches. It just seems like one of those things when you get up, you're like, oh, listen, he's in his head thinking automatic out, and that's not where you want to be because he's not even really up there swinging at the ball very well right now.
Yeah.
And Fry, listen, I don't know what they got to do. Find some space for him.
Yeah.
But I would like to see him in the lineup every day.
You can't not have that hitting like in the lineup.
Yeah.
Like it's too good for you not to think that you can win without it. Like that's ridiculous. Yeah, they definitely got to figure something out. Tell you what, I think Kyle Manzardo might have found his stride. I think he a nice little hits, and they like right next to each other.
Well, they Fry pinch hit actually for Manzardo because it was a lefty pitcher. And Manzardo has had a few nice hits the last couple of games, and I would still stick with him. Now, eventually, if Manzardo struggles more and you send him, well, then the answer is easy. Then David Fry is going to DH most of the time, little first, a little catcher. I'm not saying you have to send Bonella to the minors. I'm saying it's something they're going to have to consider if he continues to struggle for another few weeks. But either way, they've got to get David Fry in the lineup almost every day, if not every day, because he is. I mean. His OPS is over 1,000. For those who don't know, like 780 is a really good OPS. To be over 1,000 is ridiculous. That's what Shohei Ohtani has. Now, obviously, he's done it in way less at bats. Yeah. But still, I mean, at this point, he's playing enough that the stats are legit. 5 home runs in as little as he's played is pretty darn good.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, he's got to play more. And I'll tell you guys, I don't know how much everybody is locked into watching the Guardians on a daily basis, but, man, they are fun to watch. They are a season high. What are they over 500? I can't remember the exact number of games over
32 and 17.
All right, 15 games over. It's a season high. When Quan went down, because I felt like they were doing it with mirrors to some degree, right? Because the starting pitching hadn't been very good early, and outside of Quan and Naylor and Fry, even Ramirez was okay in the beginning of the year. And when Quan went down, I'm like, oh boy, this could be trouble. Not only have they survived Quan's injury, they are thriving. Because, first of all, Jose, the last few weeks, has gotten sizzling hot.
Yeah, listen, he hit a ball.
That was crazy. His home run?
He hit a ball that was low-key inside, above the letters.
Yeah.
Do you know what kind of wrist you got to have to get to that ball? And then he hit it. I said, and you pulled that?
Yeah.
I said, that's crazy.
He's, I believe, tied for the Major League lead in RBIs right now, isn't he?
I can tell you one sec.
I mean, he is just cooking. And you're right, G. That ball, I had a kid on my Little League team. Shout out to my boy Matt Gafransky.
He is tied. Leads the American League, tied for the Major League lead.
Who actually swung at one pitch in our game yesterday or Monday. He swung like this, like a tomahawk chop, hit a double in left field. And that was almost what Jose Ramirez did.
Like, how did you?
What?
Yeah.
It's so hard. As a hitter, it is so hard to get to a pitch.
Oh, my gosh.
That is letter high.
Yeah.
Like, because it's fool's gold.
Right.
Usually it's a little rise on it, and you usually swing under it or swing over it.
Yeah.
He hit this. I say, he killed that. I said, I don't say
I'm
that's
sitting here doing the motion.
And you know who's gotten hot too? Tyler Freeman has gotten hot. He's been hitting well out of the leadoff spot the last few days. And they've been able to, because Naylor, for the first time this season, Josh Naylor's had a cold streak, which, in baseball, even the best players are going to have a cold streak. And Josh Naylor's gotten a little cold here the last, week or two. He's cooled off.
But his glove, though.
And he's improved in the field.
His glove,
Their
had a
defense
pick.
is, and what was great is, I wasn't here the last 2 days. I don't know if you guys saw. Did you guys see what happened in the 9th inning on Sunday where they made all those terrible plays?
We did, and then we talked about yesterday.
Yeah. Okay.
How he ran to first base on Monday night.
Right. What was that?
How Naylor, when he tossed it to Clase, he dropped it on Sunday. On Monday, he sprinted. He sprinted to first base to avoid it.
Right, and what was interesting, though, is last year, the way they messed up that game in the 9th on Sunday, last year they would have lost that game. Mm-hmm. And instead, they came right back. Brennan hit the clutch home run, and they're getting enough offense. Willie. They're getting, and their starting pitching has been way better the last few weeks. Bybee, 2 great starts in a row. Allen, 2 great starts in a row. Carrasco had been pitching pretty well before he got scratched, and Curry did a nice job before coming out. Lively pitched great in his last start, and McKenzie's been fantastic.
Yeah. He's
been fantastic. And early in the season, we were like, oh, man, I don't know if this guy's going to make it through the year, and it's still a long way to go. But what a bounce back.
Quintana is still pitching?
Yeah, he's not very good, though.
Good gracious.
By the way, the Mets, this is only the 8th time. The 8th time that the Mets and Guardians have played a series, because they're East and Central in different leagues. It's only the 8th time they played a series. The Mets have won 6 of the first 7 series they played against the Guardians. And so this is only the second time the Guardians have won a series against the Mets. And the Mets had beaten the Guardians 7 times in a row before this series started. So, and look at this. During this hot streak here, you won a series against the Rangers, the defending World Series champs. You swept the Twins, who before that series were red hot. And now, the Mets have been a little up and down, but they're a decent team. They're not great, but they're not terrible. So you've been beating some pretty good teams here for the last week. And your road trip after this game today, you go play Colorado and the Angels, who stink. Like they're two of the worst teams.
So you're buying that they're going to get over 90 wins this season?
Well, they may. I mean, yeah, right now I feel like because the starting pitching's getting better, I still think they need additions. I still think they need a pitcher and a hitter.
You would have been proud of me yesterday because I sat on this show and said exactly what you just said. I said when they think into the thick of things, I still think they got to address that pitching because now with the Cookie situation and Curry's fine. I'm glad they got him out of there. I was in the chat like, throw in the towel. Get this man
out. That was good.
They was trying to squeeze some innings out of him.
Hey, no. They about to blow the game. I was like, man.
Well, every time they started pulling away, the Mets would come back there with some home runs.
Yeah, it was a good game. It was a good back and forth. We got a chance to see some power.
Yeah.
So it was funny how they cheered for Lindor in the beginning. And then it was like, he got to about the 7th inning, they started booing him when he got.
I don't understand the booing. I mean, he's on the other team. You don't want him to. I get it, but he was a great player here. I don't know why people are mad about it. But anyway, go ahead, Mike.
You mentioned power, Tyvis.
Yeah.
And G. And we're going to talk about Tyvis's bold prediction about the Guardians' power. After a reminder that today's show is sponsored by Yahoo Finance. Wouldn't it be great if you could see all of your investment and retirement accounts in one place? Well, with Yahoo Finance, you can consolidate your views from multiple accounts into one hub and access expert analysis you need to tend to your entire portfolio with confidence. Let's get straight to the point because we all want to grow our portfolios to deal with the rising cost of inflation, to pay off our debts or our mortgages, pretty much anything standing in the way of you and financial freedom. So with Yahoo Finance, you can get access to the news, data, and tools you need in order to reach that financial freedom. When it comes to your financial future, you think you've done it all. You've saved, you've researched, you've invested all that you can. Now you need to take those investments to the next level by using what every great financial analyst uses, which is Yahoo Finance. They have more than 25 years of experience. They're the #1 financial destination. They give you a personalized look at all the financial news cycle that matters to you, including breaking news, editorial perspectives, analyst ratings, independent research, customizable charts, and so much more. For comprehensive financial news and analysis, visit the brand behind every great investor, yahoofinance.com, the #1 financial destination, yahoofinance.com. Tyvis said before the season started, the Guardians would finish top 15 in the MLB.
He did say
in team home runs. And so far through the season, up to this point, they're living up to that expectation. Let's take a look at the team home run leaders for the Guardians so far. Naylor and Ramirez both have 12. David Fry, Will Brennan each have 5. And Tyler Freeman has 4 to round out the Guardians' top 5 home run hitters. And when you add those all together, you go to the team MLB home run leaders. And the Guardians, well, they're not top 5. They're at 11 behind Baltimore, New York, the Dodgers, the Astros, a few other teams. But 11 is certainly in the top 15, Tyvis. So my question, are you buying the power surge? Is it sustainable? And Tyvis, how good do you feel knowing so far through 50-something games you have been 100% spot on?
Of course I'm buying it. I mean, I predicted it, so I got to go all in on this thing. If this was Vegas, I'm pushing all my chips in. I'm all in. The Guardians will – I'm almost willing to say they're going to finish top 10. Maybe 10 exactly is where I'm actually hoping that they go. Listen, these last few games, it seems like they've hit their stride. They figured some things out. You know, in the beginning of the season, that's when you worry the most. Beginning of the season, you don't know. You don't know if the pitching is going to be good or if the hitting is going to be good. They started off hitting, but it was still, they weren't used to hitting it all the way out the park. Now to me, it seems like they hit their stride. I mean, you got guys like David Fry who, if they should have pitching or batting every day. If he starts to bat every day, all those numbers go up. Still waiting on guys like Jimenez to get it going. I still think Tyler Freeman can hit a couple of more. But right now, your 2 biggest ones is Jose and Josh. Josh is a little cold right now, but I think he's going to pick it back up. But right now, Jose seems like he's on a heater. And if that's the case, we always got a shot to finish in the top 15. So I don't see it going any other way. I'm buying the fact that if you spend a whole season hearing about how y'all can't hit, y'all ain't got no power hitters, y'all ain't got no sticks, as my man G. Bush would say, you get upset by that and you start working on it, and boom, you see this season they come out and boom, they just keep hitting them over the fence. Every game, it's just boom, one going over the fence, boom, one going over the fence. It's so well that I believe that if I go out there, I can hit one over the fence. That's how good it looks to me. So
it just got crazy.
There you go.
They don't work like that.
Yeah.
Boom. There you go. What say y'all?
Yeah. I mean, they got 24 home runs between Naylor and Ramirez. Ramirez is hot right now. Naylor, he cooled off a little bit, but he was carrying them earlier in the season. I think you got 2 lifts right here. You got 5 home runs from Fry. You got 5 from Will Brennan, right? So, like, when you get those, and Will Brennan refuses to die. Like, every time you try to get him up out of here, be like, Will's done. Like, you know what I'm saying? Will's finito. Nah, he come back and he hit a double. He just started, and this is Super Mario Brothers, by the way. That's the Super Mario Brothers. Yeah, right there. So, by the way, he started that cult. So he gets 2 extra home runs, imaginary home runs, just because he's the leader of the cult.
Yeah.
But, they still going to need 2 other guys that step their game up.
Yeah,
right?
His name is Andres Jimenez, who, come on now. Sheesh.
Because look, you saw what happened in that game, right? This is the Mets. This ain't the Yankees. I'm looking downstream. I already think that the Guardians is going to make the playoffs. And you know what the Guardians' kryptonite is. They play very well in short games, and then all of a sudden it's 1-2 runs, and then the Yankees come up and hit 3-run home runs. And then you're like, dang, bro, like, we was just winning this whole game. We outplayed you, outpitched you out. We made the plays we needed to, but guess what? You hit 3-run home runs because you got that type of power. So you need another couple guys to step up, because you see what you can do. If you play the Mets was hitting home runs, you come right back and hit some home runs. Yeah. It's the great equalizer. If you get one more guy to step up, I don't know, we just talked about Bo Naylor, but we need Jimenez or Bo Naylor to at least give me 20.
Or Manzardo.
Or Manzardo, yes.
There's got to be another guy, yes. I give Will Brennan credit. I mean, he's on pace for about 60 ribbies, considering he only plays part-time. That's pretty darn good.
Very good.
And he's on pace for about, 15 homers, 16 homers, which, again, for a part-time player, you'll take it. It'd be nice to have a third guy get to 20. Obviously, Jose and Naylor are on pace to hit close to 40, both of them. Mm-hmm. Now, I don't know that either one's going to get to 40, but I'm expecting them both to get into the 30s this year. You mentioned they've hit 24 home runs between them. Last year, they only hit 41 between them, and those are your 2 top power hitters. That's why they were dead last in home runs. They might double their total from last year, or at least come close to it. I mean, I'm expecting them to hit 70 home runs between them, at least, assuming they're healthy. So, I mean, they're both, playing. They're both all-stars right now. Both those guys would be all-stars right now. So, there's a lot to like about the lineup. There's a great bold prediction by Tyvus. I think he's got a good chance to be right. I don't think it's set in stone. The bottom line is they're not going to be last like they were last year. Even if they end up cooling off and finishing 17th or whatever, I said in the beginning they just need to be near the middle and they'll be competitive. Well, they're better than competitive and they're better than the middle. So they've been great. Rodriguez made his debut yesterday, didn't do anything, but Manzardo got a hit. They're going to need, whether it's these young guys, one of them to catch fire, or bringing in an addition.
And who's this? So what's the MO on Rodriguez? Right,
big guy, got power.
Because we talked about all these other guys.
Yeah,
we never really met. He just Rodriguez making his debut.
Yeah, I mean,
what is he in the minors?
He's I think he's like their number 16.
He was their number 16 prospect. He had 7 homers, 28 RBIs in the minor leagues.
Yeah, I mean, he's got power and he's a big kid. But he's not as hyped a prospect as Manzardo or DeLauder or some of these.
Right.
He might be the best of them all. I mean, we're saying he's their 16th prospect based on a guy from MLB.com. Those guys are good at what they do, but they don't get it right. They're projecting all the time.
I thought it was because it looks like the Guardians are very like DeLauder.
Yeah.
It took him forever to bring Manzardo up.
Yeah.
So I'm like, well, this is strange because if they didn't bring those guys up and they were more highly touted, how did he just get the fast track? It was kind of strange to me.
Yeah, I mean, how old is he, Mike? I'm not even sure.
Give me 1 sec.
I think he's young. He was young for AAA, I believe.
He's 24 years old.
Yeah, I mean, that's young for AAA. I mean, it's not that young. I mean, DeLauder's younger than that, right?
Yeah, DeLauder's younger than that. Speaking of guys, have you seen that De Los Santos, the guy they released? Or they sent
They didn't
back down?
release him.
Or whatever they did. It was Rule 5. He went back to Arizona.
If you don't, Davison De Los Santos, he was battling for one of the final spots on the Guardians roster. He was a Rule 5 pickup. When you pick up a Rule 5 guy, he has to remain on your roster for the entire season. If you want to take him off the roster, you have to offer him back to the team you got him from, which is what they did. The team took him back. And
do you know his stats this season?
I know he's been good in the minors, yeah.
Listen, he might be the best 4A player of all time.
It's not fair to name him a 4A player. He'd only played at AA before this year, I think. But anyway, go ahead.
Whatever it is.
Yeah.
He's hitting .368 with 14 home runs, a 1.106 OPS.
Yeah.
He leads all of minor league baseball in home runs, RBIs, and OPS.
What organization is he in again? Is it Arizona?
Arizona, yes.
Yeah, that's the Pacific Coast League.
So I mean, do they still own his rights?
No.
So they go back and get him?
No. So it doesn't do us any good, Mike, to tease us with that.
Why you?
No, I was just saying, like, it's crazy.
You baseball people.
Yeah. I don't know.
But it's weird because, not weird, but Zach tweeted out yesterday, the guy they traded for David Fry has done absolutely nothing with Milwaukee, and David Fry's obviously been a great addition for the Guardians. Nolan Jones has taken a big step back. Will Benson hasn't played nearly as well
They
this
traded
year.
J.C. Mejia for David Fry. Mejia is suspended for a full season for steroids or some PEDs. You're right. Will Benson and Nolan Jones, who we ripped the Guardians for last year, both have had setbacks this year. Aaron Savale's been. Remember everybody was mad? Jay was losing his mind. Savale's been awful, Mike. Savale's got like a 5-something ERA. You know who's been great that the Guardians got rid of?
Kyle Quantrill.
Pitched another. I actually picked him up on my fantasy team and put him in the lineup yesterday. He pitched a good game.
He with the Rockies, right?
And the bullpen blew it, cost him a win. He's been fantastic for Colorado. I think he's got his ERA, I believe, is under 1 in May. So he's been really good. And Ahmed Rosario's had a nice bounce back year, although they were never going to have him this year anyway. But those other guys have all struggled.
Is he still with the Dodgers?
No, he's on Tampa Bay.
Speaking of
part-time player.
You know what's crazy? I just said following you on your sword. There has to be better ways than that. There has to be a better way to go out to falling on your sword, bro.
Yeah.
That seems very painful.
Well, should we bring back the conversation we were having about before the show?
No.
Oh, yeah.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Hey, has Fernando Tatis been good since he got off the steroids?
I haven't followed him that closely. I think he's been fine, but not spectacular. I don't know what his numbers are.
He was that
This
deal
season,
on
he's
there.
hitting .250, 8 home runs, 24 RBIs, 751 OPS.
Yeah, I mean, that's good, but that's basically what I said. He's been good, but not spectacular.
I mean, does steroids really help your eye, bull? Like, does it help
You saying Barry Bonds
no,
should
but
be in?
it makes a stronger player stronger, right? I mean,
Should the steroid players be in the Hall of Fame?
I would vote for them, yes.
He's on record saying that.
I would.
Would you
But-
put him in?
Huh?
Would you put him in?
Oh, they're already in my
But
mind.
They already in my mind.
but the standards have to be higher for those guys. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, guys like Bonds and Sosa and McGuire, those are no-brainers. Clemens. But if a guy's like a borderline guy and he took steroids, no.
Mark
he's out.
McGuire didn't do no steroids.
Whatever, he did. Yes, he did.
I'm going to fight it to the day I die. That was my hero
You
growing
love
up.
Mark McGuire?
Yeah.
I mean, look at how skinny. Go looking when he came up in Oakland.
With the A's.
Same thing with Bonds. By the way, I like every once in a while, like G goes and watches YouTube videos, all these things. I like this every once in a while, go back and watch some old like baseball moments. And they were showing a video, I can't remember what year it was, I popped up into my timeline, and it was an at-bat between Barry Bonds with the Giants and Eric Gagne, the year he won the Cy Young for the Dodgers when he was
with the glasses.
unhittable. Yeah, with the glasses. And there was an at-bat where and Gagne had, I think, an ERA under 1 that year. He was unhittable. And Bonds, it was like Gagne had fooled him with like a nasty, I can't remember what he threw, a curveball. I don't remember what it was, a curveball or changeup. I can't remember his pitch repertoire. And then he threw a 101-mile-an-hour fastball, blew it by Bonds to get 2 strikes. And then on the 2-strike pitch, he threw it 101 again. Bonds hit it out of the ballpark foul to right field. But he turned on a 101-mile-an-hour fastball, hit it foul. And then the next pitch, he hit it for a home run.
Barry Bonds, my dad used to sit there, and I couldn't put it in perspective because I was a right-hand batter.
Yeah.
But he was like, look, man, like Barry Bonds got his hands to the hitting zone faster than I ever like there's pitches that you should not be able to turn on.
Yeah.
And he would just get to it. Like it was just crazy. Like he was like that year he hit all them home runs.
Yeah.
Like
Well,
I remember
a couple of years.
I mean, there was a time period where between Sosa, McGuire, Bonds, and a bunch of other people, there were black people, like literally whole stands full of black people just there because it was that big. They used to have news, right? The 6 o'clock news.
With the updates of home runs.
Update, like, Sosa hit one today. And you're like, for real?
Yeah. And by the way, I don't know if a lot of people remember this. Barry Bonds was so good that they would walk him sometimes with the bases loaded.
Yeah, just give up the run.
I mean, think about how crazy that is. I've never seen that ever. They would walk. He got walked multiple times with the bases loaded.
He broke the record for like the most intentional walks.
Yeah. Oh my God.
And sometimes he would not get to play. He wouldn't get to play.
Can't get in the Hall of Fame.
And then the one pitch that they threw him, he would hit. Like, you know how good you got to be to, like usually if you play and they throw you a pitch and that's the pitch you're looking for, you foul it off, players get pissed off. They're like, man, I was looking for that and I fouled it off. Barry Bonds didn't miss.
Didn't matter.
Like, he was looking for it.
And by the way, as great as Bonds was, he did not have the sweetest swing I've ever seen. Because the sweetest swing is Ken Griffey Jr.
Who did Jose Canseco snitch on?
Everybody.
He was like, I was there. I injected
He's a rat.
Wait a minute. So he snitched on McGuire, Bonds.
All of them.
Yeah.
He was like, I was there when they injected. I was there.
Baseball loved every minute of it.
Why would he do that?
You know, that's like me saying I was there. I injected Ty.
And
But
baseball
why would
loved
he-
every minute of it, and then they pretended they didn't.
Why would he
approve
do
of it.
that though?
I don't know. But the guys running baseball were total hypocrites. They knew it was going on. Come on. They knew it was going on. They turned a blind eye because baseball was never more popular.
Remember, this is how I knew something was going on. Remember, Roger Clemens at his tail end with the Boston Red Sox. Now, Roger Clemens was that deal for the Red Sox.
Oh, yeah.
But then he was like falling off where it's like, okay, well, Roger Clemens ain't as good as he used to be. He was just, it wasn't. But then he comes back. And all of a sudden has velocity.
Yeah, he was the best pitcher.
He's the best pitcher. I'm like,
well, how about when Brady Anderson hit 50 home runs?
Brady
who didn't take
lead off man
steroids?
for the Orioles. There's no way.
Did the big unit take steroids?
I don't think so. But
All right,
you never
there we
know.
go.
But, you know who else had a damn sweet swing? Was Darryl Strawberry. Remember him?
Oh, listen.
I can't believe I thought Darryl Strawberry and Dwight Gooden were lock Hall of Famers when they first came out. Neither one's getting in the Hall of Fame.
I thought Rafael Palmeiro had a nice swing.
Oh, Rafael Palmeiro had a great swing. There was always rumors that the reason the Cubs traded him after his first year with the Cubs is that he slept with Ryan Sandberg's wife.
And by the way, that's one of the most hyped players of all time. Ryan Sandberg, if you threw him back in the day, Ryan Sandberg was like, they had him like, oh, he's top 5.
He was my favorite kid.
Are you saying that this man ain't going to get into the Hall of Fame because he slept with somebody's wife?
No, because he used steroids. That's why he's not in the Hall of Fame.
Oh, okay.
All right, Mike.
One quick reminder, if you're in the chat, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. It is totally free tonight at 6 o'clock. A new episode of Behind the Glass. Myself, Earl, Anthony. We don't know what we're talking about yet, but we promise you it'll be entertaining, so make sure you guys tune in at 6 o'clock for that.
By the way, how about that Celtics-Pacers game last night?
Oh, my
All-time
gosh.
Celtics.
They should have just fouled Jason Tatum.
Why
Jaylen
did
Brown.
the
They should've
Pacers
just
turned
fouled
it
him.
over twice in the last 30 seconds?
Tyrese Halliburton.
They had that game.
Terrible.
Now they're
shot.
screwed. There's no way they win the series now.
When they was up, I said, there's no way they lose this game.
Oh, man. They let that get away. Go ahead, Mike. Sorry.
So as you guys know, sometimes G. Bush does some extra Bleacher Report streams.
Yeah.
I do a couple. They asked me to do a wild Browns trade idea one yesterday. So I came up with some wild Browns trades that before we get into, I want to make something very, 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 very clear. None of these will ever happen. I am not proposing them. I just came up with some wild trade ideas because that's what Bleacher Report asked me to do. So I'm going to present them to you. And let's just have some fun.
Say that
talk
one
about
more
some
time, just for the record.
These are not real. These are not going to happen. I'm not suggesting they will happen. I'm not reporting they will happen. I was asking them with some wild trade ideas, some wild hypotheticals.
But you want to know if we think they're at least fair. If they happen.
Yeah.
Like, are they reasonable for both teams?
Exactly. And we'll have some fun with them because you know what? In the middle of May.
How many you got?
5.
Okay, let's go.
We've kind of talked about
this.
We've kind of talked about one before.
Yeah.
But the other ones are completely. Let's start with the craziest one. Let's just get wild.
Get wild.
In this scenario, Steve, don't take it yet. Damn it, Steve.
It's already taken.
Sheesh.
Justin Jefferson and J.J. McCarthy don't get along. We know Andrew Berry and the GM of the Minnesota Vikings have a good working relation. The going rate for a top flight receiver is at least 2 first-round picks. In this case, I couldn't see the Browns giving up 2 firsts. So instead of a second first, how about MJ Emerson, DeJuan Jones, Elijah Moore, a first and a third? The Vikings' cornerbacks are not very good. Caleb Evans is their cornerback 2. Byron Murphy's their CB1, with Brian Flores as their DC. They play a ton of man coverage. I see Earl smirking because he's like, I'm not trading MJ even if it's for Justin Jefferson. Their offensive line is weak. Their right tackle, Brian O'Neill, not a chance he's going to be their future right tackle. You pair Christian Darrisaw with DeJuan Jones. We throw in Elijah Moore so they get a receiver, 1 first, a third, and those 3 players, in my mind, equals a second first for Justin Jefferson.
This is a absolute no-brainer. I'm making this trade.
I'm definitely taking that trade.
Yeah, we all would.
100%.
I don't know if I make this trade.
I'm taking that trade.
Mr. Operation Stockpile?
I'm taking that trade.
Jefferson. By the way,
I don't know if I could die on that hill.
What's the piece? What is the piece that's getting you?
So I don't care about anything. I mean, Emerson's good, but I don't care. It's Justin Jefferson.
So Emerson is a starter, right? He's starting.
Okay, so you still got Genu.
Okay, right. But here's the thing.
Yeah.
You're going to have to pay Genu big money next year then.
That's fine.
And
you was going to have to pay Emerson big money.
DeJuan Jones is my starting tackle.
I know, but
you got Jack. You still got.
Listen, you didn't rest.
Come on.
You got Jack Conklin.
The Elijah Moore. Listen, Matt.
Elijah Moore meaningless 3rd round pick. Who cares?
Who cares about the
first round
third?
pick's a late first.
Jack Conklin is your starter. What are you talking about? It's actually the moves is protected by who's still here.
Listen, what I see right here, all I see is you giving up 2 starters and a 1st round pick.
Yeah, but
the third don't really matter that much.
The Browns hit on the 1st round pick.
You're giving away 2 nice starters, 2 nice quality starters.
You
got getting the best receiver in football, one of the best. What are you young and in his prime?
Him and D. Watt? You talking about Mr. 5,000 yards? I'm making that trade.
That's risky, my G.
They out of here.
I can't believe this is G. Bush talking here.
Hey,
they out of here.
Listen, if they would have just said MJ Emerson and some later round picks.
So DeJuan Jones is
going to give up something to get
it's a right tackle. It ain't even a blind side.
There's no way you say no to this deal.
He's not. He's trolling right now.
I ain't trolling. I'm looking at it like, dang, bro, that's a lot.
I'm making that trade.
That is a lot.
Jerry Jeudy is now your 3rd receiver. Good luck.
Now, that's a nice receiver for him.
Nice.
Man,
it's the best in football.
Y'all got to frame that better for me. You know what I'm saying?
It's the best in Justin Jefferson.
I'm not saying I can't be swayed here.
Yeah, you got to be swayed. Because here's the bottom line. Emerson and Jones, good players. Like them both. They're very good quality starters.
Good starters.
Especially Emerson.
Yes.
But Justin Jefferson is either the best or the second best or the third, wherever you want to put him. He's probably the best receiver in football.
I'm going ahead and make that deal before they change their mind.
So now you have the best receiver in football, another guy who's between 10 and 15, and then your 3rd receiver is like the 30th or 35th best receiver.
All right,
and you got Njoku, and you got Nick Chubb by the middle of the season. You can't stop this offense.
That's cold. That's kind of cold.
And like I said, you're protected. You still got Genu. That makes what's the backup nickel that everybody talking about? Cam Mitchell sliding in that nickel, so you protected there. And you got Jack Conklin. You're good.
Right. And you drafted a lineman, didn't you?
Did they?
That's Zach Zinter.
He's a guard.
I'm not play tackle. But stick Patonio's ass out of right there.
But you're giving that. But it's a first and
I don't care, man.
We miss on them all the time.
Justin Jefferson.
And it's going to be a late pick, so they really ain't going to get the cream of the crop.
Let me put it this way. This is going to put you over the top, G. I guarantee this.
And you got Dorsey with that's air raiding the thing. Oh, yeah.
Would you rather have Justin Jefferson as your number one receiver, Greg Newsome as your number 2 corner, or Elijah or Amari Cooper is your number 1 with Elijah Moore as your 3 instead of Jerry Jeudy, and Greg Newsome is your number 2 corner?
You put it like that.
Yeah, I mean, come on.
Well, you put it like that, yeah, because I could get by with Greg, but it's the initial shock value because
it's a lot to give up, but you got to give up a lot to get it.
Because and look, and I say screw them picks all the time, right?
Yeah.
But this is the first time we got to pick.
By the way, let me ask you this. Let me ask both of you guys.
That's a good
one. Would you? If I'm the Browns, I'd rather give up my 2026 first round pick than Emerson. I'd keep Emerson and throw in another 6th round.
So
you said
2 first round picks?
2 firsts and DeWand, essentially. 2 firsts, DeWand, and then the other stuff's filler.
Y'all that out on G-New?
I'm just saying, I'd rather trade a first round pick that's going to be a bottom 6 pick.
Because
that's what I say.
I would,
but I would do it if the Vikings, if I'm Andrew Berry and the Vikings came up to me and said, "This is the deal, take it or leave it," I'm taking it.
What if they say that instead of the 3rd they won the 2nd too?
You
do the 2nd too?
I can't.
So what year was still picks? This year.
This year.
So bleep it. We've been doing it for the past 3 years.
And by the way,
can we go to poll? Can we? Because I can't be
we used to pick it late in the draft anyway.
And by the way, Justin Jefferson, Jimmy's going to spend the money. He's going to lock him up. You're going to have him for 5. Justin Jefferson's what, 24?
24, yeah.
Hey, throw this.
You got him for his whole prime.
He's already in the chat, G. I already got you.
He's going to be the greatest receiver. G. He's going to be the greatest receiver in Browns history. And it's not going to be close.
Whoa, Amari Cooper is.
Oh, stop it. Not by the time Justin Jefferson retires.
Amari Cooper went for, how many yards did he had a game where he went for how many yards
like
last
400.
year?
I don't care. He ain't Justin Jefferson.
That is. So does that make me have the best
wide
receiver core in the game?
Yes. Absolutely.
Yes. Cooper, Jeudy, Jefferson is. And
well, who's got the best?
Still?
I mean, you look at Cincinnati, you look at Miami.
Houston.
And Houston, right? Okay, let's look at Houston. Houston's number 1 receiver is
Diggs.
Stephon Diggs.
All right, Jefferson's way better than Diggs.
Nico Collins.
Nico Collins versus Amari Cooper. That's probably a wash. I'd rather have Nico Collins because he's younger. But right now, it's probably a wash.
Tank Dell versus Jeudy.
I'd take Tank Dell over Jeudy, without a doubt. But I got the big edge at 1. We're even at 2. Boom. Yeah, they got the edge at 3, no doubt. But
and if you want to add tight end, add in Njoku to the passing basis. Pass catchers, it's not close. Brevin Jordan's not the same category.
You can't stop. If you had Justin Jefferson on this,
it doesn't matter. 2-1. We taking that deal, so it's happening.
That's a no-brainer.
What's the next one?
So real quick,
that was a good one.
Earl Googled this. Someone aggregated my trade and proposed trade since Vikings superstar to Browns. That's why I hate the internet sometimes.
Whatever.
Clearly it was a joke, but not a joke, but not real.
Yeah.
The chat. I'm going to read you some comments, and I'll give you the poll result.
Yeah.
First one, Scott Zappa. This trade is not good. Damon 4x4. That's a lot to give up for a number 3 receiver.
What?
He's trolling.
Right.
Just ignore people that say stupid things, Mike.
All right.
I'm just reading a couple as it goes through. Lewis Ford says, I would never make that deal.
Okay.
Scott says, no chance in hell.
Okay.
God.
4Ps says you have to pay JJ $30 million a year.
Who cares?
Okay.
Who cares? Jimmy has told you he doesn't care about the cap.
They don't care about the money.
This is not the NBA.
But the trepidation is there. It hit me in the stomach. I was like, I don't know.
Tyvis, what is wrong with these people?
Earl says, no. I'm not giving up MJ, not a chance.
They ain't really trying to win, bull.
I mean, I don't even know what to say. Earl, I know because Earl's out of his mind. But
I'm
G. Bush,
Project Stockpile, and
I can't believe it. I was stunned.
But they take it away from my stockpile.
This is once again. This is
they're
another
fine
example.
with the people the people behind them is actually starters. What are you talking about?
This is another example, Tyvis, of, and you and I are more immune to this, of people overrating their own players. Like Emerson's a good player. He's not an all-pro. Get out of here. Justin Jefferson is an all-pro every year. The guy's an absolute superstar.
the best
Martin
receiver in
Emerson's a
football.
good player. I like him a lot.
They got to cut it out.
But he
Like,
ain't
we gotta
anywhere
cut this
close.
out.
And DeJuan Jones, nice rookie. He got hurt.
So is that both? Before we go to the next one,
Anybody that would not do that trade is out of their mind.
I agree.
the poll,
Yeah.
65% said hell yes, I would do it. 35
course.
said hell no. Before we get to the next one, if we go a little late, we'll just skip overtime. We'll just do the
Yeah,
all
let's
five.
do this.
These will be
Yeah.
fun.
These are fun. We went nuts for the first one. I can't
And
help it.
that's the craziest one for the record.
Oh, you
That's
should
the-
save that for the end.
Well, then I feel
right, all
squeeze it in. But in terms of fair, is that enough? Do you think that's enough to pry out?
Yes.
Is it?
That's a lot. I mean, the
that's a
Browns have
lot.
given up a lot.
They gave up a boatload.
They're giving up a lot. I think that's I think that's not a crazy trade, like unfair to one way.
They're getting, because listen, Elijah Moore will probably end up starting for them.
Yeah.
Could be their
He'd
number
be
one.
their
They
number
got-
2.
They got 3 starters
I think Elijah Moore
in the
sucks.
first
But,
and the third.
Yeah.
but if Minnesota's not going to sign Jefferson, which they're stupid if they don't, but if they're not going
if he
to,
wants to be
then
there,
that's
the
a good
question.
package to get. It's about they get a legit starting offensive lineman, a legit corner, and they get a first round and a third round
Wait,
pick to build up against.
Did you say? Was you serious about him not liking J.J. McCarthy?
No, I said in this hypothetical.
Okay.
World,
Oh,
JJ
yeah,
throw
okay.
once
All
at practices. I can't.
All
play.
right, next one.
Next two are both. You need this context for the next
Okay.
two. And once again, wild trades that aren't going to happen. So you have to take a little liberty.
Yeah.
For the next two, I said, okay, for the sake of these, Nick Chubb's not coming back till at least week 9. He's going to miss half the season.
Okay.
And I don't trust Foreman, Ford, Strong, and Hines to be my RB1 for half a season. They can fill in for a game admirably,
All
but
right,
for half
all
a
right.
season, I didn't like it enough.
Yeah.
I want a real RB1. So I searched, and I found 2 options that I think, in an unrealistic way, could fit the wild trade scenario.
All right.
How about adding the best pass-catching back in football to this offense, Alvin Kamara, for Ogbo and a third-round pick? Now, in theory, it may seem like that's way too little to give up, but Kamara's cap hits over the next 2 years are giant. He has an $18.5 million cap hit this year, $29 million cap hit next season. They had the 4th lowest sack production from their edge rushers last year. They finished 29th in football.
Yeah.
They need a pass rusher. I considered Zadarius Smith here, but figured the Saints prefer the young youth at Ogbo, a third-round pick. You see the going rate for running backs; it's not very high.
Yeah.
So Kamara for a third and Ogbo.
No, I'm not trading that much for. I'm not giving up that. I'm not giving up Ogbo in that deal.
I'm 100% taking that deal too.
Oh, you taking that one too?
Yeah.
I'd rather trade 2 draft picks.
No, I'd take that deal right there. And I'm not worried about the cap because Andrew Berry.
I'm not worried about
they
the cap.
finesse the
I like
cap
getting
every
Kamara. I
single
just
year.
read the trade draft picks.
I'm definitely making that trade.
Okay.
Because I don't know if Nick Chubb ever gonna be back to.
I just don't think you have to give up that much to get Kamara because running backs are worth nothing in trades. He's older for a back.
He's 28.
And they're kind of starting over to some degree. I know they got Derek Carr, but they're like,
with us going to this more pass happy.
yeah, he'd be a good fit.
I'm taking
just saying,
that
I think
trade.
you're giving up too much. I think you can get him for
I
less.
am taking that trade for sure.
You know, Project Stop Pile is back and ready to go.
All right.
Pull the trigger. Pull the trigger. Let's go. That was a 1-second reprieve. That third round is Minimowski.
Yeah.
We draft D tackles that don't play a third round. And
Or wide receivers that don't
wide
play.
receivers that play. And Obo Akarako, I like you, but I got old boy over there. I got Alex Wright. I could get something out of him or just blitz a lot. Give me that Alvin Kamara. Let's roll.
Push comes to shove, I'm with these guys. But ultimately, I think you could get him actually for less.
You could. I think that should be about a 5th.
Yeah, or just
Okarako.
or like a 3rd and a 5th.
Right.
No Okarako.
When I started with this one, I had just a third, and I was like,
no, probably
like
a little more than a
it'd probably
third,
be more
but
than
not
a
much.
third,
I
but
don't
they
think you have to
wouldn't
give
the
up
second,
Ogbo.
and they needed a pass rusher. So
Yeah,
that's
all
an
right.
area of excess for the Browns in a good way. This next trade, same premise. Nick Chubb's not here for half the season. G. Bush, I think you're going to like this trade the most.
Ooh.
Nick Chubb's not here for half the season. That's my mindset for this.
All right.
Okay.
I was looking at teams that had a plethora of running backs, and I found one that has a guy entering the last year of his contract who's right on the edge of being an older running back, who had an extremely successful season in 2023 but may take a backseat to a younger guy in 2024 who also has a hole at a position of need the Browns have one extra guy at. How about this, Steve? Take it full. How about Raheem Mostert for Jed Wills in a 4th? Add the element of speed the Browns' offense has been lacking. He adds the element of a downfield threat in both the rushing game with Stefanski and getting the stretch plays. He's also a halfway decent pass catcher. Jed Wills could have a change of scenery, find what the Browns thought they were getting in the 10th overall pick a few years ago in a Mike McDaniel system. Their right tackle right now is Austin Johnson. Not Austin Johnson. I'm drawing a blank on his name. Austin something, who's not particularly good. Their left tackle is Teron Armstead, who's always hurt. Fresh change of scenery for the Dolphins to get in Jed Wills. The Browns get their RB1, who led the NFL in touchdowns last year, until Nick Chubb comes back. The combo of Chubb and Mostert, lightning and thunder, pretty damn dangerous if Nick Chubb's Nick Chubb again.
I don't think I'm taking this trade.
I would not take this trade because
I don't know who our left tackle would
right.
be.
They don't have a left tackle.
With
as much as I don't like Jed Wills, they don't have another left tackle.
With a quarterback that's
I got to protect
quote
the
unquote
quarterback.
injury prone. Nah, I'm good.
Listen, Mostert was still good last year, but he's old as hell.
How old is he?
He's got to be in his 30s, no?
He probably
I think he's 29.
Oh.
Here's my problem. Just giving up a 4th round pick for Mostert is
Yeah,
kind of
I don't
high.
gotta give up.
Like
He's 32.
No,
I'm not doing that.
I could get the last deal with Kamara. This one, Jed Wills, I can't do that.
I don't really know.
Take the pick out. What if it was just Jed from Mostert?
I'm not giving.
I'm
I
not
don't.
trading
I don't know
Jed.
who our backup.
I don't have a left tackle.
Yeah, we ain't got no left tackle. That's the problem now with Jed.
I mean, I trade
that's
a
how
late round
Jed
pick for
Wills
him.
might get a contract with the Browns because I don't know who the backup. We don't have another left tackle.
I don't even think I got to give up a 4th round pick. I don't know that Mostert, and I know he had a lot of touchdowns last year. I don't know that he's any better than at this point than Jerome Ford or the guys they have.
I keep Jerome Ford. And
he's probably better, but not by much. I mean, he's
He had
32.
1,000 yards last year, averaged 5 yards a carry, had 18 touchdowns on the
Yeah, I
ground.
mean, that's really good,
Had
but-
3 in the air, caught 32 passes.
I hear you.
He's definitely an upgrade. How much, that might be debatable, but he's definitely an upgrade.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
I give him. Listen, if they wanted a 5th round pick for him, I'd do it. Like, even if they just wanted a straight up 4th, like, all right, give me a 4th round for Mostert, I'll do it. And the highest I would go just for 1 pick is 3rd, because once again, we give up, we draft Anthony Schwartz in the 3rd.
I wouldn't even give up a 3rd for Mostert. At 32 years old, no thanks. He could fall off a cliff easily this year. All right, Mike, next one.
Next one. I wanted to go defense on the next 2. And when you look at the Browns' needs, they don't have a ton of needs. Like, they've done a really good job constructing the roster in a way where there's not a position you look at and say, ooh, that's an issue, we need to fix it. However, I think the linebacker room is the weakest of their position group. So I was looking for a way to upgrade a secondary linebacker to pair alongside JOK. I think Jordan Hicks
By the
would be
way,
good.
Mike, I'm
Yes.
a little disappointed that you didn't get really crazy and propose like a Deshaun Watson sort of trade.
Yeah, I didn't, I'll be honest.
I was expecting one of those.
Yeah, I did too.
Yeah, I thought that could have been
I
crazy.
tried to keep it in wild, but like within the realm of, I guess, some chance that
All right.
in a
You
crazy world.
lost your wildness. That's all.
Yeah.
If the next time they ask me to do it, I will propose a trade for Deshaun Watson. I'll
Yeah,
find
all
a
right.
way to just work it in. All right, so I was trying to upgrade the linebacker
Yeah.
room. I was looking for a guy on the last year of his contract. Looking for a guy who's still productive, can play all 3 downs because, as Tyvis and G especially have pointed out, they believe JOK has more pass rush upside than we've seen. So I need a guy, if they're going to blitz JOK, can hold his own in coverage and also be a threat in stopping the opposing team's run game. I think before we show this trade, I think I gave up way too much from the Browns standpoint. I'll be honest. I think this is the one where I gave up way too much. But to match salaries, it wasn't easy. You had to
Now,
put
what are you
some
going to match
guys-
salaries for?
Because according to the trade thing that I was using to see if it would accept, it had to be at least within the relative range.
It's
So
not basketball.
I know, but there's still like
Yeah, all right.
something. So with that in mind, there's not a ton of linebackers out there that fit what I was looking for. One guy that did fit was C.J. Mosley of the Jets. And in order to get C.J. Mosley, I looked at a position group the Browns have a plethora of talent at. I thought Juan Thornhill, but then I was like, the Jets don't want Juan Thornhill. So to get C.J. Mosley, I proposed Grant Delpit and Jack Conklin, and I hate this trade for myself. It's given up way too much. But
I
you
mean, I don't even know if you're giving up enough. What do you mean giving up way too much?
you think that's
Jack,
enough?
who the hell wants Jack Conklin?
I'm not starting him anyway. Jack Conklin's not a starter.
You think it's not enough? See, this is why I like fake trades. I thought I gave up too much. You're saying
No.
not enough?
How old is C.J. Mosley now?
Old, but still very productive. Had 150 tackles last year, 5 tackles for
Why?
loss.
How are you giving up too
interception.
much? To me, Jack Conklin is a negative in the trade.
Yeah, he's a throw-in.
'Cause you got to pay a guy who you don't even know can play anymore.
because their offensive line's trash.
Okay.
He could be a starter for them.
But Jack Conklin, we don't even know if he can play anymore.
And we don't know if Grant Delpit can play a whole year without being injured.
And C.J. Mosley's a better player than Grant Delpit. I think there's no way the Jets would make that trade.
The feedback I got on Bleacher Report yesterday was not a chance in the world the Browns make this deal. You guys say the opposite?
I mean, look, like,
Would you do it, G? If this was offered, would you do it?
yeah.
Well, the Browns.
Browns got 96 safeties, including Tyvis, who comes in. Like, what do you mean, Tyvis? They already got him on a retainer. If something happened,
And some drastic happens.
Yeah, like,
I'm already
Plus,
ready to go.
getting Jack
That's why I've
Conklin
been
off
staying
the
in shape.
roster is a bonus.
he got a key card to the weight room. Like they got you got Hickman, you got DeAnthony Bell, you got McLeod, you still got Juan Thornhill.
I would trade Jack Conklin to the Jets for nothing.
Sheesh.
You wouldn't have to give me anything in return.
What, just to get the contract
Just
off
to get
the
rid
board?
of him.
Hey, all they
That
got
was the
There's a
Conklin
chance
thing was the
Conklin
dumbest thing the
plays
Browns
and
have done
plays
in the
well.
last 3 years.
Are you completely out on the fact that Jack Conklin can play?
Yeah, because when can he stay on the field? And how old is he?
his style of play as a lineman, you know what they always tell you, don't stand straight up.
He's 29.
Jack
So,
Conklin
when's he gonna be
is
30?
upright.
His birthday is in August. Turns 30 in
All
August.
right, so he's going to be 30 this season, and he's barely played the last couple of years. So
He played 14 games in 2022.
how many did he play in 2021?
He's played one of the last 3 seasons, essentially.
Okay. So he's
7,
played
14.
So he's played about 16 games the last 3 years. He's coming off a serious injury, and he's going to be 30 years old in a couple of months.
So
Hey, I'll give him away for
just
nothing.
always bring if you want a Deshaun Watson argument, just bring up Jack Conklin, because we still be like, oh, Conklin's a starter, and he be hurt every
No,
year.
he sucks.
Every year he be hurt.
I mean,
And
he
they
doesn't
gave him a
suck,
bag.
but he's not. Yeah, I would do this if I were the Browns, just to get Conklin's contract on.
But you know, the reason why a lot of people think the Browns would do it is because, you know, they don't really value the
Grant Delpit's a
linebacker
good player,
position.
right.
Delpit's a great. Good,
Yeah.
he started off great. I thought he was going to make the Pro Bowl.
Well, he would have, but he got hurt.
He got hurt. He'd be hurt
And
every
he's
year.
been hurt a lot too.
Has he been hurt a lot?
How
He
many
missed
games
a whole.
did Mosley play?
He
last
missed a
year?
whole year with it.
No, C.J. Mosley's played 50 of the last 51 games.
C.J. Mosley's missed 1 game in 3 years.
And can you imagine him and
that-
JOK?
Yeah.
He's a
So what do you
tackling
think you have to
machine.
give up to get C.J. Mosley?
You got to throw a pick in there,
I'm
bro.
about to say, you got to throw a pick in
Yeah.
there.
A pick. He's 32. He makes a ton of money. That's why.
But I would say just forget the players. I'd give him a higher pick just to take Conklin's contract.
Between
You
C.J.
give him
Mosley
a second in Conklin?
and
Conklin in a second.
and Demario Davis don't age.
Oh.
C.J. Mosley and we had
Demario.
Davis was the other guy I looked at for that G, but I already had a Saints trade, so I didn't want to do another Saints trade.
Yeah.
He was the other guy.
man.
We already had
Yeah.
Double D,
Demario
man.
Davis.
Double D was nice.
Had
too.
for 1 year and then just
and he just
turned
that
up.
guy's a stud.
He just 200 tackles
He's
a year.
he's one of the best run
Yeah.
tackling. Oh my goodness.
He's like the
He was
Quell.
and he was a
could've
great.
been our next
He was
Quell.
such a great leader too, man. That man.
Yeah.
He can have you.
How
run
did
through
they
a
move
wall.
on from him?
Because they had a bunch of people that didn't know what they was doing back then.
Who did they trade him for?
Calvin Pryor.
Oh.
And you know what happened? You know what happened right after that?
Cut.
Got
Tyvis
trouble.
Powell got cut.
See?
All right, we got one more
If
trade.
it was
Such a domino
It
effect.
also affected Tyvis's career, those bastards.
All right, one last one.
Dopey Browns at the time.
And we have
Yeah.
discussed this one a little bit on the show pre-draft.
Okay.
I think it actually makes even more sense after the draft, knowing who the Commanders used with the second overall pick.
Mm-hmm.
But we hadn't done it on Bleacher Report, so this is the one we've talked about before. Jonathan Allen for Wyatt Teller and Siaki Ika. No picks involved. Money equates. You want to unlock Myles Garrett to the fullest extent? You get an elite pass rusher from the interior in Jonathan Allen. Not these makeshift guys who are perfectly capable.
How old is
Hurts-
Jonathan Allen?
Not as old as you think.
28.
Still productive.
Is he?
Why would the Commanders do that?
I don't know.
They have Deron Payne.
I don't know, but I
And
would
they
take
just
it.
drafted Jaden Daniels.
I'd
who
run it up
Now their
there.
top priority is keeping him upright. Their interior, their offensive line is not
I like
good.
Wyatt Teller. but
I'd
I
run
don't-
him up
there's
there.
no way Washington makes that trade.
That trade would definitely happen if it was me.
Yeah, but Washington wouldn't make that
If
trade.
they offering it, I would take
Oh,
that.
hell
deal.
yeah. Siaki Ika is
I mean, you
useless.
just
He was just a throw in. Jonathan Allen, by the way, is 29 years old, just turned 29.
And Wyatt Teller's what, 28?
Right the same age.
In
range.
the
About the same
words
age.
of the great NSYNC, bye, 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 bye.
Baby, bye, bye, bye.
Bye, 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 bye. All of y'all out of here.
They just drafted the kid and said that the reason they drafted him because they remind him of Wyatt Teller.
Siaki, Danny Shelton.
The only thing about it is
I don't know.
I'd be upset that out of the two guards, we moving on from the younger one, but that's what they want. So I would.
Yeah. But Washington not taking that.
Well, I figured Washington just drafted Jaden Daniels. They have a whole new offensive. They got Dan Quinn as the head coach, but the whole new offensive stand. They have a deeper rotation of defensive.
You don't trade a
tackles.
superstar pass rusher for a
once again, they're just
superstar
throwing
guard.
out the random ideas here in the middle of the offseason.
And we don't love Wyatt Teller. We don't love him.
That made it sound ridiculous because it is true. You just don't say
Siaka Ika. What if Ika went there and turned up?
I don't know what his turn-up ability is.
And what if he was just all pro? Would you be mad?
I think he's more likely to become a turnip than turn up.
Yeah, okay.
That was a bad joke.
You know what? I can't wait to the preseason because I got to see it for myself, man. I got to see.
I mean,
was it him who lost a lot of weight? Who lost a lot of weight?
I don't know.
Oh no, it was
Lamar Jackson.
No. Oh God.
You're looking at me like I'm supposed to know this
I can't
one.
think of his name. The Browns veteran pass rusher. I can't think of his name.
Zadarius Smith?
Yeah, he lost a lot of weight in the offseason.
He cut his hair.
He cut his dreads.
Earl was very upset that he cut his
Maybe
hair.
I think he lost weight because he cut his dreads.
We got some super chats.
Why you got to boo the man, Earl? Just because he wants to cut his dreads.
His strength is in his hair.
Don't be a hater.
We not cutting our dreads. We not trading MJ Emerson. We not doing none of this dumb stuff that's been going on for the last.
If you want to,
Earl's out of pocket.
If you are a company out there and you want to sponsor the cutting of Earl's hair, please contact McNuggets. I want to see that money on the table.
You know what, Earl?
How
Said
much,
no
Earl?
money. He said no money. He wouldn't do it. For
You know what, Earl? You know who you sound like? You sound like the Cleveland Cavaliers organization, and we're Donovan Mitchell. You think that everything is good. You're okay with just being in the playoffs, but we want to be greater. And some of these trades makes the Browns go from a playoff team to a Super Bowl team. So,
why would you? You're saying you wouldn't make the Jefferson. You're going to let Martin Emerson stop you from getting Justin Jefferson.
yeah.
I'm letting Martin Emerson and DeJuan Jones stop me from getting Justin Jefferson. Yes, I am. I'm going to tell you why. I'm joking a lot, but I'm being serious at the same time.
Right.
I think both of those dudes are first-round talents despite where they're drafted at.
Yeah.
Kevin Stefanski told Tyvus on draft day, football stars up front is won and lost in the trenches.
Yeah.
We got a steal already there. And I think MJ can blossom into one of the best corners in the league.
All right, let me ask you a question, Earl. How many drugs are you on when you made that statement?
I think I was on less than one. But I feel I feel conviction behind it.
All right, I like the passion.
Now,
Earl, you wouldn't cut your hair for $1 million?
No, I actually talked about this on a podcast real quick. I know we got to go, but
Earl, you would do it.
My hair has sentimental value tied to it.
I hear you, and I'm not trying to get you to cut your hair, but $1 million changes your whole life and your whole life of your family. You would have to do it.
I don't know, man. We'll see. We'll talk about it.
Would you cut your beard for $10?
Yeah.
No.
How much would it take you to get the beard cut?
100.
100
gone.
bucks?
100.
I got 100.
It's out of there.
Hey, I got 100.
100.
When you on again? When you going again?
Tomorrow.
I will cash app you the 100. But you got to go all clean shaven. It got to be.
You know, I've never seen that. I haven't done
I got
that
the
since-
100.
I haven't done that since
High school.
High school,
Right.
yeah.
Look, your wife.
I don't even know what my chin looks
Your
like.
wife
naked.
and daughters
your
might
wife
be
like
like,
it or not?
yo,
She killed me.
I got the 100. I got the
But for
100.
$100, she'll be like, "Oh, it'll grow back."
I got the 100. You could go half with her, like 50-50. I got the 100. I'm going to cash app you.
I'm surprised you
would you
willing
cut
to take it for 100.
Would you cut it on the air?
Do you know how to cut it?
I got clippers.
You gonna cut it?
Yeah, it's all gonna be down to zero anyway.
His brand's the barbershop. He better not.
I got all kind of clippers. That's crazy, right? Listen. This is gonna work. $100, right?
Sure.
That's awesome. Hey, what can we get Bull to do? What would you do?
For $1 million?
No. No, I'm trying to get you to do something for 100.
100.
Pause. You can't go up to a grown man and be like, what you gonna do for this 100, McNuggets?
100.
We got some super chats. Let's get to them.
Yeah.
Brody's bottom line says, in response to my coaching candidates, is Mark Jackson not getting a job anymore?
No,
He hasn't had a job in like
I don't think
10
he is.
years.
I
He's
don't
done.
think he is.
He's done.
I don't know what he did. I don't know if he took some inappropriate snapshots
maybe.
or He's just not going to get a
Shout out St. John's. Let's go.
Monty Berry says, stop hating on JB. He ain't going nowhere.
Oh, yeah,
he's going somewhere.
Sean Iyer says, this is likely the cheapest Mobley will ever be. Give him the max.
Jeez.
Brody's bottom line says, G. Bush, how is Mobley going to work on his game when the guards don't give him the ball?
Well, he could get a rebound and just dribble. You know, they do allow people to do that, right? Like, you don't need nobody to give you the ball. My dad always told me, if you're waiting for a small dude to give a big dude the ball, you're in trouble.
And last but not least, Darryl says UCSS is turn up. Watson throwing, Guardians winning, JB House up for sale. What a great time.
First time I've been over 500 as a Little League coach.
Oh, good luck.
We need to talk about Bulls contract.
Fireball is what that screams. Fireball.
We're in second place. We're in second place in our division.
Confetti falling on that
We're
dude.
2-2-1, trying to get our third win tonight.
And the Guardians,
Let's get it done.
The Guardians have already should have thrown.
Well, I don't know if Aaron's going to play because he's got a bad cold, and he's been my hottest hitter, believe it or not. He's on base 6 times in a row.
You put pressure on him, didn't you?
No,
You won't eat if you don't get this hit.
I said to him this morning, I don't give an S. I don't know why. I'm going to just say it. I literally said it to him this morning because he got a cold. I said, I don't give a shit about school. I need you in the lineup tonight.
That's the way to be a good dad.
I'm not going to lie.
That's the way to be a great dad. Don't nobody remember 5th grade. Don't nobody remember 4th grade.
We'll see you tomorrow.
The teachers are mailing it in at this point anyway. We'll see you later. Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show.